Tuesday night, President Joe Biden hit the road Wednesday, traveling to Superior, Wisconsin. The president was in the crucial swing state to promote his domestic agenda and one of his top accomplishments, the bipartisan infrastructure measure. The president wasn't alone on the road. Vice President Kamala Harris was in North Carolina, joined by Labor Secretary Marty Walsh. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen was in Chicago, where she had lunch at a Ukrainian restaurant and said economic sanctions on Russia are already having an effect. Mike Artesia, Washington.
Reports that China's president, who had met with Vladimir Putin in Beijing, asked Putin to delay his invasion of Ukraine until after the Winter Olympics. China dismissing the report as blame shifting, a diversion. Putin's invasion didn't start until after the games had wrapped up. More on these stories at townhall.com.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I know what you're expecting to hear right now, the announcement of today's KSVIP. Well, I don't have a name for today, and I need your help. If you know someone who needs to be recognized for being a very special person, call right now, 746-2751. Ask for Tana and schedule a KSVIP. Your special someone will be recognized at this time all day long on their day, and they'll receive a flower courtesy of Lovebud Floral in Artesia. So call today and schedule your KSVIP.
Just too white and nerdy. Can't you see I'm white and nerdy? Look at me, I'm white and nerdy. I wanna roll with the gangsters, but so far they all think I'm too white and nerdy. I'm just too white and nerdy. Think I'm just too white and nerdy. I'm just too white and nerdy. Really white and nerdy. My class here at MIT. Got skills, I'm a champion of D&D. MC Escher, that's my favorite MC. Keep your 40 out, just have an Earl Grey tea. My rims never spin. To the contrary, you'll find that they're quite stationary. All of my action figures are cherry. Stephen Hawking.
Okay, we're off to a good start today. How you doing this morning on the Good Morning Artesia radio show? Let's see, what's messed up over here? You know, I did one of those. I'm filling out this form on the internet. So I bring up the page and I fill out the information and I click submit. And then it just sits there and it stares at me. It doesn't do anything. The screen is just, you know. And then the browser comes up and says, this page is taking an awful long time to refresh. What do you want to do? So I go ahead and refresh. Well, then it wipes out everything that I've put into the form. So then I resubmit the form. And in any case, I don't know if I have submitted 4 forms or 6 forms. And what's going on with all that? So anyway, it's been kind of a screwy start to the day. And we'll see if we can get things rolling and going here on this Thursday. Believe it or not, it's the start of the baseball season for the Artesia Bulldogs. as they are opening up over in Hobbs, America this afternoon. They're taking part in the Black Gold Slugfest over there in Hobbs. So we're going to be going over to Hobbs later today, and we're going to try to broadcast the baseball game. We'll have radio and, knock on wood, we'll have some TV coverage of that today. Guests on the radio show today. And let's see, we've got Amy McVeigh Tellis from the Historical Society for Southeast New Mexico. They've got a leadership scholarship program deadline that's coming up that they want to get some students enrolled in, including some students from here in the Artesia area. So a little later this hour, we'll have Amy on the phone with us. In the 8 o'clock hour, Captain James Moore from the Eddy County Sheriff's Department is going to join us, filling in for Sheriff Mark Cage today. We'll hear from Carol at the Artesia Senior Center. In the 9 o'clock hour, we'll have our chit-chat with our friends from the Ocotillo Performing Arts Center. Maybe, hopefully, fingers crossed. That didn't happen last week. and then we'll have our weekly conversation with Michael Rebman from the Artesia Historical Museum and Art Center. So we've got a full schedule today, and we'll see what happens with all of that. Let's see. And then we're finding out what's missing in the Roswell office. They don't have any water. It's funny. I always ask the guys up in Roswell, hey, you need anything? No, we're fine. Then today, late yesterday and today, hey, by the way, we're out of water. So, I ask numerous times. I never get any answer. And then when I do get an answer, it's like, we're out of water. So anyway, it's one of those, it's going to be one of those interesting days. It looks like the Republicans are a little ticked off at the Education Department today. I've got a press release here from the House Republicans, and apparently the curriculum has been released by the Public Education Department, K through 12 social studies curriculum standards. And according to the Republicans, the new standards implement fundamentally flawed concepts of critical race theory into New Mexico schools. So you'll remember the brouhaha that we had about this, and there were some public hearings. There was going to be one in Santa Fe. Then they decided to make it virtual, and people were having to submit letters and comments, and it was very limited amount of time that they were going to receive comment. We'd even been told that there had been some significant changes made to the proposed curriculum. Well, according to the House Republicans, the final rule was intentionally published in the final days of the 30-day legislative session in order to obscure the new educational policies from public scrutiny. This is according to the Republicans now. The proposed rule was drafted by a group of self-selected educators with no input from the public, and when the final rule, after the public comment, was published, the standards had been further revised by the same group of self-appointed educators. The public had no direct input on what changes were made in the final rule, as the public and legislators only saw the changes when the final rule was released during the waning days of the session. House Republicans hosted a statewide Zoom call during the original public comment period with educators, stakeholders, and superintendents on the controversial rule changes. While there were supporters of the proposed changes, overwhelmingly, New Mexicans were unhappy with the administration's efforts to block any outside input on the secretive changes. Commentary on the PED website during the public comment period was staunchly opposed to the blanket changes and efforts to limit local school boards to make necessary curriculum choices. The changes to core social studies curriculum as set forth by the PED represent a hostile and tone-deaf liberal slant in what is taught in New Mexico schools. House Republicans remain resolved to continue to oppose the governor's CRT education agenda and encourage local school boards to adopt K-12 social studies curriculum standards that promote and are consistent with New Mexico values, not the CRT and progressive tenets deceptively embedded in the governor's education policies. So, according to the House Republicans, the new K-12 social studies curriculum was released at the very end of the legislative session, and according to the House Republicans, appears to not take into consideration an overwhelming amount of comment that had been submitted by people across the state. And according to the Republicans, contains the concepts of critical race theory and introduces those into the social studies standards for New Mexico. So it's going to be interesting to see what the interpretation is of our local educators, if indeed that is the conclusion that the local educators have as to whether or not they really are injecting critical race theory into that aspect of curriculum. And so we'll reach out, see if we can get some thoughts from some of our local educators as far as that's concerned. But the Republicans say it's in there, and they're not happy about it. And unfortunately, there's a limit to what can be done. I know there's an effort to try to convince the legislature to loosen up and allow more local control. One of the things that we've heard about, for example, Mr. Phipps talked about that on the radio this week, is this extra 10 days of school days that's being proposed. And in that particular aspect, it sounds like they have left that up to the individual school districts. So in our case, Monday at 6 o'clock is a public meeting at the administration building to hear from the public as to their thoughts as to whether or not it'd be a good idea or not, what the benefits would be or issues would be with adding 10 more school days to the school year. And so that discussion sounds like it's being left to the local districts. So the 10 school days is being left to the school districts, but apparently the curriculum that is taught in the schools apparently is not being left up, or as much as we would like, left up to the local school boards and the local jurisdictions in that regard. So we'll do a little bit more, but we did get that press release yesterday from the House Republicans, who are not happy with the CRT curriculum as it's being proposed, or as it looks like it's been laid out, that was released at the end of the legislative session. So interesting things with all of that going on. Anyway, we like I said, we've got baseball today on the radio and on the TV. The basketball tickets have gone live. So if you want to buy tickets to the basketball game Saturday night at the Bulldog Pit between the Artesia Bulldogs and the Lovington Wildcats, they are available now. Looks like most of these games have been loaded up onto the website. It's gofan.co, and that's where you're going to have to buy your tickets for the game, Artesia versus Lovington. There's no passes that are allowed if you bought season tickets or anything like that. So I'm looking through the list here on the NMAA, and let's see, El Dorado, Carlsbad at Rio Rancho, Lovington at Artesia, Saturday, March 5th, 6 p.m. You go to that. You can click on it to get tickets. Adult tickets are $10. Military tickets are $5. Seniors 65 and up are $5. Students K through 12 are $5. Mobile entry tickets for this event must be presented using your mobile device. Visit the GoFan app or the gofan.co mobile site. You will not be able to print tickets for this event. So gofan.co is where you want to go. And let me check and see if you can go through just searching through Artesia High School. And it's loading. And yep, so you go to gofan.co, search schools, type in Artesia. You'll see Artesia, New Mexico. Click on that, and then the ability to purchase tickets, the website where you'll be able to buy the tickets comes up. And again, when you click on the Get Tickets, then your options are there. There's 4 options. How many adult tickets do you want? How many military tickets do you want? How many senior tickets do you want? How many student tickets? For example, if you were going to buy 2 adult tickets, and then it says get tickets $20, and then they add a $1.50 service fee, and they per ticket. So, for example, if you want to buy 2 adult tickets, it's going to cost you a total of $23 to make that purchase. You can use Google Pay. You can pay with your debit or credit cards or whatever, and then once that purchase has been made, like if you have an iPhone, you can do it with an app. They have an app in the iPhone. If you have an Android phone, you go to the mobile website. So you open up whatever Chrome or whatever the browser, internet browser, however you go to the internet on your Android phone, and you go to gofan.co and just do basically what I did here on the laptop. And then once you've done that, then that's the phone that you bring with you with your family, whoever you bought tickets for, and then you will present that phone app demonstrating that purchase, and then they'll let you into the pit for the game on Saturday night. And that's the only way tickets can be bought. We're in a new era now. It is a digital era. It is an online era. I'm sorry, but if you want to go to the game, you got to buy a ticket. And if you want to buy a ticket, you got to use the online or the app to make the purchase. So if you have an iPhone, search for the GoFan app in the App Store. And if you have an Android phone, just open up whatever you use to get on the internet, whether it's Chrome or Firefox or whatever it is that you use to get on the internet on your phone, and then go to the website gofan.co, and then you will search for Artesia High School, and then that will take you to where you can make your ticket purchase for the game on Saturday night. Okay, let's see what kind of weather we're going to have out there today. Steve-O, what do you know?
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty warm for the next few days, but we do have low pressure moving through the area, causing some gusty wind by tomorrow. Pretty nice today, a little bit breezy. We'll be in the low to mid 70s and partly sunny. Overnight, some clouds and mid 40s, and then gusty wind on Friday. Sunshine, and we'll hit the low 80s. Not as windy on Saturday and Sunday, mid 70s and fair. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Right now, we've got mostly sunny skies, 36 degrees. Our humidity is at 36%. The dew point is 11 degrees. Our winds are northwesterly at 6 miles per hour. Feels like it's 31. Pressure's at 30.19 and rising. Our air quality index is 39, so we have good air quality. Sun will set at 5:56 this afternoon. The sun will rise at 6:21 this morning. Around the region, sunny and 38 in Carlsbad, mostly sunny and 38 in Roswell. Hobbs America checking in, mostly sunny skies and 42. If you're going to the baseball game, it's going to be around 72, 73 degrees at first pitch this afternoon in Hobbs. Around the state, Albuquerque, partly cloudy and 38. Santa Fe, mostly sunny and 42. Partly cloudy and 39 in Cloudcroft, mostly sunny and 44 in Ruidoso and Las Cruces. Partly cloudy and 30 in Farmington, sunny and 23 at Red River, mostly sunny, 39 in Clovis. Lubbock, Texas, partly cloudy skies, 42 degrees. And again here in Artesia, mostly sunny skies, 38 degrees in Artesia. And again, low 70s at first pitch over in Hobbs, America, when we get to that wonderful, wonderful game time today. So let's see what else is going on. Let's take the break. We'll come back with more on the Good Morning Artesia radio show right after this.
Hey Artesia, Cambria here from your local Artesia KFC Taco Bell. Feed the whole fam with our amazing new deal, our 10-piece leg and thigh feast for only $31.99. It includes 2 mashed potatoes and gravy, slaw, and 5 buttermilk biscuits. All this amazing food for only $31.99. You've got to try it. You can also add on either 4 crispy tenders or a chocolate or lemon cake for only $5.55 more. We hope to see you soon at your local Artesia KFC Taco Bell in Artesia.
Get Second Amendment savings now through the end of March at LGS Guns and Ammo. The authority for everything guns and ammo in Southeast New Mexico is having their annual high caliber tax refund sale. Save up to 15% on all accessories, 10% on all guns store-wide, and 15% off all Liberty safes. The annual high-caliber tax refund sale is on now at LGS Guns and Ammo, Southeastern New Mexico's authority for guns and ammunition, across from Target and Roswell, and at 109 North Del Paso in Hobbs.
When that problem arises, one call to Crouch Plumbing and Heating is all it takes. Crouch's plumbers and technicians are highly trained. No problem is too big or too small for Crouch. Whether you need a water heater replaced, gas line run, a leaky faucet repaired, or your heater or AC serviced, Crouch can do it all. Your problem is their problem, till it's no longer a problem. Call on Crouch for timely response, quality workmanship at a fair price. Servicing Carlsbad and Artesia.
Okay, let's see. What are we doing now? We've got, I was looking at the schedule. What did I do with it? Baseball and softball and all that fun stuff. We've got some high school baseball out of Roswell as well, as the Roswell High Coyotes. They opened up their season in the Cleveland tournament last weekend. They went 0 for 3. They gave up 31 runs and scored 0. They're going to be taking on Alamogordo today in a doubleheader starting at 5 o'clock at Joe Bauman Stadium there in Roswell, New Mexico. That's going to be on KSVPTV.com. Let's just do it in this stack here. But what did I do with the games today from the tournament? There's the Caveman Classic. That's next week. You know, my brain. Here it is. I found it. What are these doing here? Those over there. Looks like today at the Black Gold Slugfest in Hobbs, New Mexico, there's 2 games at 4:30. The varsity field will see Clovis and Los Lunas at 4:30, and on the JV field will be Artesia versus Pojoaque Valley. Then at 7 o'clock tonight on the varsity field will be the host Hobbs Eagles against Cleveland, and Berlin will take on Santa Fe. So there are 4 games today on the 2 fields at the Black Gold Slugfest. Tomorrow, all 4 games are on the varsity field, and they start at noon. Berlin versus Pojoaque Valley at noon. Artesia versus Santa Fe at 2:30. Cleveland versus Clovis at 5. And the host Hobbs Eagles taking on Los Lunas at 7:30. And then on Saturday, they split between the 2 fields again with games at 10 a.m. On the varsity field, Los Lunas versus Pojoaque Valley, and Cleveland versus Artesia. That's at 10 o'clock on Saturday on the JV field. And then the 12:30 games on Saturday will be Hobbs versus Santa Fe at 12:30 and Berlin versus Clovis at 12:30 on Saturday. So that's what's going on this weekend with all of that. Roswell High has the Alamogordo games today. Then they're off till next week. Goddard girls softball is at the Hobbs softball tournament Friday and Saturday. The Roswell girls softball don't start until the Artesia tournament on the 18th and 19th. And the Goddard baseball team will be, they were in the Las Cruces tournament last weekend. They'll be at the Farming tournament. No, they'll be playing Farmington in Cleveland. So it's not a tournament, but they're meeting halfway. Farmington's coming down from Farmington, of course. Goddard's coming up from Roswell, and they're going to meet Saturday at Cleveland High School for their second doubleheader of this early baseball season. That's what Goddard and Roswell are doing and all that. What do we have on the lunch menus today? Our teacher kiddos are going to have breakfast pizza for breakfast today. For lunch, it'll be the cheeseburger, the Southwest curly fries, the shredded lettuce and pickles, and the diced pear. So it's cheeseburger and fries for lunch today at the Artesia School. Senior meal site today, lasagna, salad, mixed vegetables, garlic bread, and apple cobbler. So it's lasagna today at the Artesia Senior Meal Site. At the Artesia Senior Center today, exercise video at 8:15. The painting group will meet at 9. The line dancers will dance at 9:30. The low-income tax rebate form assistance will be from 9 to 11 this morning, just in the morning, not in the afternoon. Then after lunch, they'll play bridge at 1 o'clock. They'll have the open art studio at 1. The Swedish weaving at 1:30. They'll play the Texas Hold'em game at 2, and the exercise video will be at 4. And I mentioned what yesterday was. The advisory council did not take place yesterday. It has been moved to next Wednesday. So I got that note from Carol yesterday. So the advisory council did not meet yesterday. They will be meeting on Tuesday, the 9th. At the library today, just regular library hours today. Tomorrow will be the Magic card play tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock. But today, just come and check out a book. Birthdays today, Joanne Letcher, Opal Butts, Gigi Burkham, Viola Lopez, Patsy Hull, Karina Garola, Linda Smith, and Nikki Connolly. So a bunch of folks having birthdays today. Joanne Letcher, Opal Butts, Gigi Burkham, Viola Lopez, Patsy Hill, Karina Garola, Linda Smith, Nikki Connolly. Is it all ladies today? Wow. It looks that way. Okay, school calendar today. What do we have on the school calendar? Today, Thursday, March 3rd, District Solo Band will be at Artesia High School today. Varsity baseball at the Hobbs tournament, we mentioned. Varsity track will be down in Carlsbad for the Ralph Boyer Relays. That starts at 3 o'clock this afternoon. And there's some more 7th grade basketball. Zia 7th grade basketball will be at 3 o'clock this afternoon. They're at Zia Intermediate School. So, yep, solo band, varsity baseball at Hobbs, track at Ralph Boyer, and Zia 7th grade boys basketball, 3 o'clock this afternoon. All right, I think that's everything. Let's take this break for news, see what else is going on out there in the world, and we'll be back in just a moment on the Good Morning Artesia radio show.
Now for your Pecos Valley News Update, I'm Jared Cirillo. New Mexico's top election regulator and prosecutor are now warning residents of Otero County to be wary of intrusive questions and potential intimidation by door-to-door canvassers linked to a review of the 2020 election that was authorized by the Republican-led county commission through a private company. Secretary of State Maggie Toulouse Oliver, a Democrat, said Wednesday that many Otero County residents have been caught off guard when approached by canvassers affiliated with the group called New Mexico Audit Force. They claim in some instances to be employees of Otero County. Roswell police asking for some help in identifying a man seen holding up a Family Dollar store on February 23rd. You can see the pictures on the RPD Facebook page. That's the man who walked into the Family Dollar on East 2nd Street, selected a few items of merchandise, and then waited for other customers to leave before demanding money from the clerk. He handed the clerk a note demanding the money. If you know anything, call Roswell Police. I'm Jared Zarello.
Now more than ever, you need to stay as healthy as possible. At Lowell's Pharmacy, we want to help by providing flu shots and COVID-19 vaccines. Now is the time to come into Lowell's Pharmacy for your flu shot. Employers can schedule with Lowell's to conduct a flu shot clinic at your place of business. And it's okay to get your flu shot and COVID-19 vaccination at the same time. You will have to register for your vaccine at nmvaccine.org. The key to staying healthy is exercise, eat nutritional foods, keep up your appointments with your doctor, and get the flu shot and COVID-19 vaccine at Lowell's Pharmacy, across from the hospital on North 13th in Artesia.
It's time for the Eddy County Sports Report. We told you about the beginning of the baseball season yesterday. How about softball? Well, the Carlsbad Cave Girls are already in action. They played a couple games on Centennial, sweeping Centennial 11-5 and 10-9, although that second game was not easy. Carlsbad won in 8 innings to go to 2-0 to start the season. Next action for Carlsbad, though, will be on March the 11th. I believe that's at Deming in a tournament. Remember, Carlsbad lost in the 5A championship last year to a state championship to Cleveland. Now, Artesia is the defending state champ in Class 4A, and they will be getting started next Tuesday against Alamogordo. They've got Riley Crandall back, senior, who is a stellar pitcher and hitter. Youngsters like Perseus Aguilar, Michaela Morilon. You've got some good players there. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at KSVP Radio, AM 990.
Vladimir Putin misjudged the will of the Ukrainian people to fight, the resolve of President Zelensky, who's now a hero to the world, and the effectiveness of economic sanctions. Putin is livid, but he has options to harm you and me. I'm Kim Commando, brought to you by T-Mobile. Their advanced network now goes farther than ever before. Visit T-Mobile.com/55 today. The Russian ruble is worth less than a penny. A total economic collapse is possible. Putin may retaliate with large denial of service attacks against all of social media, news, financial, meaning your bank, and other essential websites. A denial of service attack swamps a website with trillions of so-called pings. The website is so busy answering each ping that it can't respond to anything else. It shuts down. If this happens, government and private industry could take days to sort it all out. Meanwhile, be on the lookout for phishing email scams and ransomware attacks. The risks have never been greater. Hit commando.com now for steps to protect yourself from these cyber attacks.
I know we probably have a lot of entrepreneurs and small business owners listening right this very second. The Commando community is a hardworking group, so today I want to share a tip that will help your business run even more efficiently. Are you ready? Ditch the laser printer and get an Epson EcoTank Pro. This durable printer is my top pick for small businesses. No more being stingy with your marketing materials or the beautiful project plans you've cooked up. The EcoTank Pro uses big ink tanks and comes with a ridiculous amount of ink, so you can print in vibrant color without ever buying pricey toner cartridges again. Spend that money on something else to power your business. Maybe a nice espresso machine. Employ indoor skydiving. Schedule a brainstorm. The Epson EcoTank Pro. Just fill and chill. Pick up your EcoTank Pro at Best Buy, Office Depot, Office Max Staples, and at Epson.com/EcoTankKim.
Turpinning & Son Mortuary of Artesia presents a listing of today's obituaries. A special celebration of life dinner party will be held from 5 to 9 p.m. Friday, April 15th at the Artesia Country Club for Martha Marie Antonucci Carroll, who passed away February 27th at the age of 74 in Roswell, New Mexico. Cremation has taken place under the direction of Turpinning & Son Mortuary. No funeral services are planned. Marty was a resident of Artesia for the past 24 years. She was born in Canton, Ohio in August of 1947. Many people may remember Marty as the owner, operator, and only waitress at Marty's Place Cafe in Riverside in the 80s. After moving away and then back to Artesia in the late 90s, she worked for the Girl Scout Council office. Then she enjoyed many years working at Yates Petroleum before retiring. Marty was preceded in death by her parents, former spouse and lifetime friend Dennis Jenish, brother-in-law Bill Cooperis, sister-in-law Linda Antonucci, and brother-in-law Henry Klatt. She is survived by her 2 daughters, Denise Crook and husband Mark, and Tammy Jenish, both of Artesia, and numerous grandchildren and nieces and nephews. Once again, a special celebration of life dinner party will be held from 5 to 9 p.m. Friday, April 15th at the Artesia Country Club for Martha Marty Antonucci Carroll, who passed away February 27th at the age of 74. No funeral services are planned. And a memorial service is scheduled for 10 a.m. Saturday, March 5th at the Artesia Elks Lodge for Clyde Randolph Dolph Jones of Artesia. Mr. Jones died February 25th at his home at the age of 86. Cremation has taken place under the direction of Turpinning & Son Mortuary. Dolph was born August 1935 in Hope, New Mexico. He married Dora Ann Bruce in December 1954 in Hope. He was honorably discharged from the New Mexico National Guard, owner-operator of the City Garage of Hope for 36 years, and managed the hardware division of the Artesia Alfalfa Growers Association for 19 years. He served as mayor of Hope, New Mexico for 25 years and fire chief for Hope, New Mexico for 25 plus years. He was a lifetime member of the New Mexico State Firefighters Association and the Artesia Elks Lodge 1717. Survivors include his wife, Dora Ann Jones, sons Clyde and wife Paula, Cora and wife Cindy, daughter-in-law Debbie, 6 grandchildren, 10 great-grandchildren, a sister, Melissa, and brothers Floyd and Robert. Once again, a memorial service is scheduled for 10 a.m. Saturday, March 5th at the Artesia Elks Lodge for Clyde Randolph Dolph Jones, who passed away at his home in Artesia February 25th at the age of 86. This listing has been presented as a service by Turpinning & Son Mortuary of Artesia, where we make it personal. Well, there is weather to be discussed. Steve, what do you know?
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty warm for the next few days, but we do have low pressure moving through the area, causing some gusty wind by tomorrow. Pretty nice today, a little bit breezy. We'll be in the low to mid 70s and partly sunny. Overnight, some clouds and mid 40s, and then gusty wind on Friday. Sunshine, and we'll hit the low 80s. Not as windy on Saturday and Sunday, mid 70s and fair. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
All right, welcome back. We have sunny skies. We've hit the 40-degree mark here in Artesia. Our humidity is at 32%. The dew point is 13 degrees. Our winds are north-northwest at 6, so it feels like it's 36 out there. Pressure 30.19 and on the rise. Our air quality index is 39, so we have good air quality. What was I doing here? High yesterday, we got up to 74. And the overnight low 31. 1 year ago, 62, and the low 22. Minimum 4-inch soil temps are around 45 degrees. The sunset will be at 5:56 this afternoon. The sunrise will be at 6:21 in the morning. Around the region, sunny and 40 in Carlsbad, partly cloudy and 40 in Roswell. Mostly sunny, 43 in Hobbs. If you're going over to the baseball game this afternoon, first pitch is around 4:30. It should be cloudy and about 72 over in Hobbs at first pitch. Albuquerque, partly cloudy, 38. Mostly sunny, 43 in Santa Fe. Partly cloudy and 40 in Cloudcroft. Mostly sunny and 42 in Ruidoso. 47 in Las Cruces, 32 in Farmington. Sunshine, 30 at Red River. Mostly sunny and 41 in Clovis. Partly cloudy and 47 over there in Lubbock, Texas. And once again in Artesia, we've got the sunshine and 39 degrees. We had a lost dog phoned in yesterday. Didn't know if anybody has been able to help and find Dodger. Dodger is a male German Shepherd and has been missing since Monday in the Halderman and Hermosa area. And Dodger is very, very missed, very friendly, loves people. So if you've seen a male German Shepherd since Monday, the dog's name is Dodger, and if you would, please call these folks so they can get their dog back. 505-452-7371 or 505-489-6799. All right, let's take the break. We're going to get a hold of Amy, and we'll be back with more on the Good Morning Artesia radio show right after this.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. In the days since the West imposed sanctions on Russia over its invasion of Ukraine, ordinary Russians are feeling the painful effects from payment systems that won't operate, problems withdrawing cash, and not being able to purchase certain items. Dozens of foreign and international companies have pulled their business out of Russia. Major car brands halted exports of their vehicles. Boeing and Airbus suspended supply of aircraft parts and service to Russian airlines. Major Hollywood studios halted their film releases, and the list will likely continue. Amazon is confirming it's closing all of its bookstores as well as its 4-star shops and pop-up locations. The company said Wednesday that the move, which affects 66 stores in the United States and 2 in the United Kingdom, enables it to concentrate its efforts on Amazon Fresh, Whole Foods Market, its convenience concept called Amazon Go, and its upcoming Amazon Style stores. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
Welcome to Answers with Ken Ham, presented by the Coalition of Christians for Biblical Creation and Steve and Cindy Anderson of Napa Auto Parts in Artesia. CCBC is an interdenominational coalition of Christians from Artesia who believe that the account of origins presented in Genesis is a simple but factual presentation of actual events. Answers with Ken Ham is brought to you by Steve and Cindy Anderson of Napa Auto Parts, proudly serving all of your automotive needs, individual and commercial, with quality Napa parts. Now, today's Answers with Ken Ham.
We all have an authority. This is Ken Ham, editor of the apologetic series of books, the New Answers books. Why do you believe what you believe? Whether you believe the Bible is true or not, you believe that because of some kind of authority. Is that authority yourself? For many people, that's their ultimate authority, themselves. But we don't know everything. We frequently make mistakes. Putting ourselves as the ultimate authority means we're trusting in an ever-changing authority and with very limited knowledge. As we present in our Creation Museum, we should look to God's Word as our ultimate authority. You see, God is the only one who knows everything. He never makes a mistake. He's always been there. We can trust God and His Word.
Find resources to equip and encourage you in your faith when you visit us at AnswersRadio.com and view a complete transcript when you go to AnswersRadio.com.
All right, welcome back on Good Morning Artesia, and joining us is Amy McVeigh-Tellis from the Historical Society for Southeastern New Mexico. Good morning, Amy.
Good morning. You're cutting in and out a little bit, but hopefully you can hear me good.
Oh, I hear you just fine. I may have turned away from the microphone just a little bit, so hopefully that sounds better.
Much better. That's
okay. Okay. Well, I look around. I'm fiddling. I'm always doodling, you know.
So, that's awesome.
That's
well, hello
right.
to Artesia down there in Bulldog Country. We want to say hello here from Roswell.
That's right. That's right. And you sent me a note yesterday. We had the flyer on the teen leadership program for 2022, and you mentioned that it's not just for students there in the Roswell area. You'd like to encourage some folks from Artesia and North Eddy County to apply. So I said, well, let's get you on the radio and talk about it. So the teen leadership program, just what exactly is that? Because the pictures make it look like they're just going to go out and have a bunch of fun.
Well, and you know what? I think that's a great compliment to Leadership Roswell. I think as leaders, we can have a lot of fun. And, Gene, you and Mike Winters are a perfect example. You can be leaders and have a lot of fun. But I've been educating myself on this phenomenal program. The Teen Leadership Institute has been going on for over 20 years, I believe more like 25 years. We've had the honor and privilege through the Leadership Roswell Alumni Association to partner many of these years with the New Mexico Military Institute to offer not only seniors, but juniors and seniors a wonderful opportunity. This year, the program's going to be 2 days. That's something new for us. In years past, it's generally been a day and a half. And it's interesting to us at the end of every year, we get feedback from these amazing students, and they say, it was long enough. You know, we need more. So, and when young, dynamic 17, 18-year-olds are saying that, I'm like, wow, that is amazing. Now, the dates this year are March the 21st and the 22nd. It never seems to be the right time. If you know how that is, we've intentionally done it in the spring. Fall is a hard time with fall sports and everything. So that is a Monday and a Tuesday. That's a 2-day program. They'll be registering at 7:45 on both those days. They will be completed and out before 3:30. And to talk a little bit about the program, from the flyer perspective, we get feedback of, oh, that's just for athletes, or, you know, it looks very physical. I think it's very important for us to say we embrace anybody and everybody, whether you are a book student making a 4.5 and don't get out that much. We challenge you to get out more. And if you are physical, or if we have an example, we have a student, phenomenal football player that has some injuries. He's going to be limited on what he can do physical. Well, that's a challenge that we embrace for him. You know, some people rely on their physicality through leadership, and maybe this individual is going to be challenged to have a different perspective. So there will be in the classroom wonderful activities, developing leadership skills and what type of leader you are, and learning from other leaders. You know, just because I might be one type of leader, it doesn't mean you and I together can't work together and become better leaders. But there will be outdoor activities also. So they try to balance that out. We're going to have some guest speakers that we're really excited about, including the national championship coach from the Mexico Military Institute.
Oh, yeah.
That just gives you a little bit of perspective. We wanted to talk to him about his life, his perspective, what got him to be in the situation to lead a football team to be the best in the nation, which, Gene, you and I both know, y'all know a lot about winning down there in Artesia. You've been
won.
very victorious.
we almost need a bigger water tower, you know, because of all that stuff. Now, so this is for this program's for high school juniors and seniors.
That's right.
And there's scholarship money that's available for a part of the.
So, and thank you for. Let me give you just this ratio, the bottom line. We'll be maxed out at right around 30 students. I've been advised we may be able to open it to 35.
Okay.
But with the scholarships we have, the ratio will be to 1 in every 4 or 1 in every 5 students will get a scholarship.
Oh, wow.
Well, I don't know about you, but there's very few involvements I have that ratio is so high. And we take a limited amount. So I know I have not, we're actually going to be on the radio here in Roswell at 8:15. I haven't gotten the updated number, but I know we're getting close to filling up. But with our limited time, it's very important for me to say 2 things. We, as an organization in Roswell, want to embrace all area. And nothing would make us happier to have representations of Roswell High, Goddard, Gateway, Artesia, Dexter, Hagerman. We've even been working with Hondo in those areas. So I think it's important, even Fort Sumner, I think it's important for us to get some of these kids from all the different areas to work together because there's something to be said about that in these times. You know, we believe there's nothing we can't do working together, you know.
Right, because the goal is to solve problems, to, prepare these students for how to solve problems, because we're always going to have problems that need to be solved, and then then the team building, and that's what you were talking about earlier, that everybody brings something to the table when you get a group together, and so leadership recognizes what those different advantages are, those different talents or opportunities, and puts that team together to be successful.
I'm also the president of Character Counts, and we have implemented, and we'll actually be having the executive director of Character Counts speak briefly, how important it is to do all of this with character, integrity, what that means. I'll give you an example. I think one of the highest regards I have for Bulldog Country is win or lose. They are linked arm in arm. And yes, I love to go watch the Bulldogs. They're linked arm in arm, win or lose. Whether they win or lose, they're proud in the Bulldog Country to represent, and I think that we all need to mimic that or learn more from that. You don't have to be a winner, whatever the cliche is. We can all be winners, if you will, and that's working together. And especially even last year with unique circumstances, we kept going through teen leadership, Russell, and I think that's part of leadership. You know, don't use excuses. Don't use these times that we're challenged to just fold, if you will. No, we've never stopped, and we will continue. And something else for anybody listening, it's very important for me to say. The deadline is tomorrow for the applications. But if you're listening and say, I don't have anything to do with this program, I don't have high school juniors or seniors, we are begging and pleading for people to consider making a donation. Maybe you're with a business that could be part of a sponsor. It is not too late to sponsor this amazing opportunity and provide additional scholarship opportunities. Gene, last year, every single applicant left with something.
Yeah.
Now, those were very unique times. This year, we've structured it a little bit different. In the years past, for example, we will have $1,000 scholarships. We will have $750 scholarships. We'll have $500 scholarships. Last year, it was so unique, everybody went home with something. We would love, not just we would love to provide an opportunity for all these students, too. They've survived a lot under these circumstances.
Oh, yeah.
So if any business in Artesia would be able to make a donation, you know, the Historical Society, and yes, I'm the director of Historical Society, but I'm putting my leadership also hat on right now.
Right.
We believe in coming together to help support these kids, and so every penny counts. If you made a donation of $500 or $5,000, we're going to appreciate every dime, and we'll put it to get used. It is not too late to be a sponsor. We need that information as soon as possible. But for the first time ever, we're going to have these hard deadlines. You know what happens, Gene. Every year the deadline passes, and we've still got kids applying.
Yep.
And that's part of that integrity.
That's right. So the deadline is tomorrow. So who do they call, or is there a place they can go to get the application, get the process started so they can meet the deadline?
100%. I believe at this time we are down to the wire. My dear friend, Major Desi Aguilar, he is with the Leadership Process Alumni Association. He does work at New Mexico Military Institute. His direct number is 575-420-8723. Also, Lieutenant Colonel Eric Evertson, his direct line there at New Mexico Military Institute is 575-624-8139. My name is Amy McVeigh-Tejas. I'm with the Historical Society. The Historical Society is also offering scholarships in excess of $10,000. So if anybody listening needs more information on our scholarships and or the Teen Leadership Institute, they can kill two birds with one stone and call me directly at 575-915-4471. Or my direct email is historydirector at Outlook.com. Again, that's history director at Outlook.com to get more information on the Historical Society for Southeast New Mexico scholarships. Ours are offered in categories of histories and humanities, the STEM, and character, which that means anybody can apply for our scholarships, and they can apply for more than one. So I'm all in for people applying and being a part of both of these wonderful opportunities.
Excellent, excellent. Hey, I know you said you're going to be on with Mike Winters a little later this morning.
At 8:15.
At 8:15. Let's have a little fun with Mike. If you have a bottled water, if you have one with you, bring it with you to the studio and say that you understand that Mike has allowed the water to be emptied out, and admission to his show today is one bottle of water donated to the Mike Winters fridge. So
y'all are always up to something. Always.
So
y'all, and again, you know what? You're laughing. Y'all are having fun.
Yeah.
That's why I love to be part of both you and all y'all are doing. Y'all are laughing, smiling through all circumstances.
Well, you have to, Amy.
It's so refreshing.
You have to.
You know, some days we want to cry.
Well, we do.
Y'all
We do that too.
above it and
As soon as the mic goes off and the camera goes off, we're in the corner, rolled up like a baby. So, anyway.
I encourage everybody to be involved with your radio station because it's therapy.
Well, thank you.
Isn't it therapy, Gene? We can laugh, cry.
That's right. Amy, thank you so much for your time. We'll keep giving the numbers out today and tomorrow and encourage parents and kids to apply. And let's fill up the class, okay?
Well, we really appreciate your support, and have a great day down there in Artesia.
All right. Thanks a lot, Amy. Let's go.
Thank you. Thanks for your time.
All right. Bye-bye. Let's go to the news here on KSVP Artesia.
Destruction across Ukraine. Putin's war now into its second week as the Russians claim to have taken a key southern port city, although Kiev remains in Ukrainian hands.
Well, we've just had an address by the country's defense minister, Alexei Reznikov. He talks about Ukrainian forces destroying enough tanks to supply numerous armies. He hammers down on his claim, his belief that Ukraine will win this war.
The BBC's James Waterhouse in Ukraine's capital.
I don't think anyone below us in the bomb shelter or patrolling the streets is going to be breathing a sigh of relief. Despite the stalling of that sizable Russian convoy, army chiefs here say they believe more Russian troops are moving around the borders to the north of Belarus and are moving down to join that Russian convoy.
Reports that China asked Vladimir Putin to hold off on the invasion until after the Winter Olympics, which Putin did, China denouncing the report as a blame-shifting diversion. The UN reports more than 1 million people have fled Ukraine, many of them women and children. Also from the UN, the death toll, at least 227 civilians killed, 525 wounded so far. The employment picture continues to brighten. The Labor Department reports the number of people applying for jobless benefits dropped last week, falling 18,000 from the previous week to 215,000. New poll from Virginia's Roanoke College giving a new Republican Governor Glenn Youngkin high marks. A majority of Virginians approving of the job Youngkin is doing after a couple of months, and his approval rating 9 points higher among Virginians than that of President Biden. The Dow's up 177 points, NASDAQ ahead 9. More on these stories at townhall.com.
We have a 12-year-old German Shepherd named Sophie, and she became overweight, stinky, greasy coat, and lifeless almost. Then about 4 years ago, we found out she had several vertebrae fused together. She was unable to walk. The vet told us Sophie was going to have to be euthanized. I thought, I've got to do something. DINOVITE.com. I remember Sophie starting the Dynovite, and she from day one has loved it. She is no longer stinky. She is full of life. Dynovite healed Sophie.
Dynovite is nutrition.
I truly recommend that people not wait until the vet recommends euthanasia. You have to get them on Dynovite right away while they're healthy.
Dynovite for life. You won't believe how happy your dog will be.
I get my Dynovite from DINOVITE.com.
Apparently, the Amazon bookstore idea didn't work out.
Amazon is closing all of its brick-and-mortar bookstores as well as its 4-star shops and pop-up locations. The closures come as the online giant reworks its physical footprint. The move affects 66 stores in the U.S. and 2 in the United Kingdom. The Seattle-based company will now be able to concentrate its efforts on Amazon Fresh, Whole Foods Market, its convenience concept called Amazon Go, and its upcoming Amazon Style stores. Keith Peters reporting.
Hong Kong ramping up its testing capacity with the help of inflatable mobile labs as the city grapples with tens of thousands of COVID cases each day. The labs arrived from mainland China, where COVID got its start, ahead of a planned citywide testing of its more than 7 million residents later this month. It's part of a zero-tolerance COVID strategy that's enforced in China. Breaking news and analysis, townhall.com. Well, perhaps you've heard of some of the dangerous challenges that have gone viral on TikTok. Now, a coalition of states wants to know if the social media platform is putting kids in harm's way.
Attorneys general from a number of states have launched an investigation into TikTok for possible harmful effects on young people's mental health. In a news release, California Attorney General Rob Bonta said the nationwide investigation aims to determine if the popular video platform is violating the law and promoting itself to young users. Lawmakers and regulators have criticized the Beijing-based company for the computer algorithms they say can endanger users, promoting acts of vandalism, eating disorders, self-harm, and even suicidal ideation to young viewers. The company says they appreciate the focus on child safety and look forward to providing more information on protections they have for teens. I'm Jennifer King.
The NASDAQ is up 16 points, the S&P 19 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Today's KSVIP is Kathy Pennington. Kathy will be celebrating a birthday tomorrow. Happy birthday on Friday, March 4th. Kathy is church secretary at Midway Baptist, communications assistant at the Pecos Valley Baptist Association, and director of the PVBA Disaster Relief Feeding Program. Thank you, Kathy, for everything you do. Today, Kathy, you're going to receive a flower from Lovebud Floral and KSVP. Today's KSVIP, Kathy Pennington.
Just too white and nerdy. Can't you see I'm white and nerdy? Look at me, I'm white and nerdy. I wanna roll with the gangsters. But so far they all think I'm too white and nerdy. I'm just too white and nerdy. Think I'm just too white and nerdy. I'm just too white and nerdy. Really, really white and nerdy. My class there at MIT. Got skills, I'm a champion of D&D.
So yesterday we told our build your own joke. Yesterday on the morning show, we gave the punchline. And then you had to create your own joke, but I haven't really had anybody suggest any jokes, although I gather you're kind of laughing about it, which is kind of surprised me. But anyway, here's the punchline. So if you're still working on building your own joke, here's the punchline, and then you have to build the rest of the joke to use the punchline. So the punchline is, Boudreaux scribbled back, I think you should put a new battery in your hearing aid. So that's the punchline for the joke. You have to make the rest of the joke. So you can have some fun with that. And if you think the rest of the joke is what you think it is, you're right. That's it. It is that. Yesterday, the memes were kind of funny with the president after his State of the Union address. I think the funniest one, there were a couple of them. The Speaker of the House, the president mentioned something about pits or fire pits or something toxic having to do with affecting our military folks. And the Speaker of the House jumped up and started rubbing her hands. Well, does she have stock in the company that's going to clean that up? And then so when the president mentions that we're going to be doing this now, she's all excited because she's going to make a bunch of money on the stock? Or so people are trying to figure that one out. And then I think the other one was, in essence, what the president says, no matter what Putin does, he's never, ever going to win over the hearts and minds of the Iranian people.
Well, of course, they voted for at the UN resolution, the Iranians voted for the Russians to go into Ukraine.
That's right.
They voted against the resolution to stop them.
That's right. Syria, Belarus, North Korea.
Surprise.
And then Iraq or Iran, one of those countries over there.
And China abstained, which I found interesting.
That was interesting because you would have thought that they would have blocked it, but they didn't. But there was something else they did block, and I thought, and then they didn't really come out and say that they're in favor of the sanctions, but their banks did do some manipulating of some of the Russian bank interactions. So they kind of did something, but they didn't do something. But they're kind of like us. Like, we're talking tough, but we're still buying oil from Russia.
Oh, yeah.
You know? It's like, instead of drilling out here or wherever.
Oh, why would we do that? That would only make sense.
That would only ruin the environment. See, we don't care if the Russians ruin their environment, but apparently we do, because John Kerry, the ecology czar for the Biden administration, and I love the Babylon Bee. They had a deal where Kerry was so worried about the Russians' military incursion into Ukraine's effect on the environment, he hopped on his own personal jet.
Yes.
And flew over there and dropped off solar panels.
That's almost true. He did fly over there to do an interview.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. That's right. In his private jet.
Yes.
You know, and it just, the world is kind of messed up right now. So anyway, Captain James Moore is here. We're going to talk a little bit sheriff stuff in just a minute. So is that okay?
Yes.
All right. We're going to take a quick break. First of all, let's see what the weather is. Speaking of the environment, have we ruined the environment yet with our weather? It's going to be 105 degrees today, right, Steve?
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty warm for the next few days, but we do have low pressure moving through the area, causing some gusty wind by tomorrow. Pretty nice today, a little bit breezy. We'll be in the low to mid 70s and partly sunny. Overnight, some clouds and mid 40s, and then gusty wind on Friday. Sunshine, and we'll hit the low 80s. Not as windy on Saturday and Sunday, mid 70s and fair. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
I think the other funny Babylon Bee. I love the Babylon Bee. It's the parody site that everybody can go to, unlike the Onion, which is kind of R-rated. And matter of fact, I thought this was funny. Biden announces, this was during the State of a State address. Biden announces increased spending on Smørrebrød, Rustamuffins, and blab trussels.
That might be true.
And did he headbutt somebody?
I missed that.
Yeah, I think instead of, he's known for sniffing hair and little girls, and apparently he headbutted somebody. So I don't know if he was trying to sniff something or what was going on, but it's kind of crazy what we see. Here's the top 10 key moments from the State of the Union address. Number 1, when Biden told businesses to cut costs. Genius. When Biden promised to triple inflation. Such ambition. When security deftly switched out Nancy Pelosi for a Pelosi body double without the cameras seeing it. When Clarence Thomas lit up a joint about halfway through. When Chuck Schumer finally became a GIF. When Biden made some little boy feel uncomfortable from 50 yards away. When security dragged out Ron Paul for shouting wrong every time Biden explained inflation. When Pelosi ripped up pictures of ultrasounds in support of abortions. Because last time she ripped up Trump's deal.
Speech, yes.
And then the number 10 moment from there, when the hand of God wrote "repent" on the wall. So, what a crazy thing! I missed all that because I was over at City Hall. We were waiting for election returns to come in, and
I didn't bother to watch it.
The State of the Union thing, yeah. What's he going to say? But anyway, I do need to take this commercial break. We'll be right back, and I promise we'll talk sheriff stuff, so don't go away, folks.
The 2022 NMAA District Tournament is really heating up, and the Bulldogs are looking to keep it alive this Saturday as your 8-seed Artesia Bulldog boys face off against the 9-seed Wildcats of Lovington, live from the Bulldog Pit. Coverage for this game begins with pregame at 5:45 and tip-off at 6 p.m. on KSVP AM and FM and at KSVPTV.com. Bulldogs versus Lovington Wildcats, Saturday at 5:45 on KSVP AM and FM and at KSVPTV.com. Southeastern New Mexico's Sports Authority.
Incredible Printing is begging you, please don't vote for Michelle Lujan Grisham. We're already last in everything. Don't vote for Michelle Lujan Grisham, please. This announcement paid for by Incredible Printing.
I'm Georgia Haynes, and I approve this message.
It's the big produce savings sale at Finn's Country Market in Artesia. Fresh iceberg lettuce, 99 cents each. Salad-size Hass avocados, 2 for $1. Canta Gold cantaloupe, extra large, 2 for $5. And jumbo white or yellow onions, 99 cents a pound at Finn's Country Market in Artesia. And right now, Coca-Cola, all flavors, 2-liter bottle, 4 for $5 at Finn's Country Market in Artesia.
There's a whole universe out there. Come explore at the International UFO Museum and Research Center, featuring engaging exhibits and in-depth first-hand accounts of the incident that put Roswell on the map. The research library features the most comprehensive collection of UFO research materials in the world, and you can get exclusive one-of-a-kind gifts and merch from the gift shop or online at RoswellUFOmuseum.com. Don't forget about the UFO Festival, July 1st through 3rd, celebrating the 75th anniversary of the Roswell incident. The International UFO Museum and Research Center. It's otherworldly.
West is the recovery resource for your small business. Tap into the Hobbs Business Center for services including consulting, training, loans, and much more. Visit WESST.org to learn more. Funded in part through a cooperative agreement with the U.S. Small Business Administration.
Hey, welcome back on the Good Morning Artesia radio show. And Captain James Moore from the Eddy County Sheriff's Office is with us this morning. If I can talk, good morning.
Making fun of Biden is getting to you.
Oh, I tell you what. Well, that's not hard to do. he just has to pull up some of his speech. There was another thing on the Babylon Bee. Mitch McConnell says that the Republican response to the State of the Union will be to just play the State of the Union speech. That'll be their response. No, it's just been kind of crazy. Internet technology has been challenging the last few days. And Lana said, come home early, because I was out covering the election on Tuesday. I've got baseball today, tomorrow, and Saturday. Saturday I have baseball and basketball. And so I said, just come home. We'll sit down. And so she went to bed, and I was watching something on the... I know what I was watching. I was watching Junkyard Digs. Mm-hmm. They had a video. They repackaged a video from a year ago, or a year and a half ago, where he and the Thunderhead 289 guy went to some rural place in Iowa and resurrected a 1970 Plymouth satellite with the 318 V8 and all the trees they had to cut down to get it out of the woods. Anyway, I stopped that video and realized there was an issue with radio stations, and so I had to go out and fix that last night. And then this morning there was something I was supposed to do that I forgot to do that I didn't do, and
you forgot to cut spending?
I forgot to cut spending, that's right.
Good thing you were reminded.
Yeah, it's crazy. So anyway, and then so this morning, just trying to get everything squared away. I introduced Amy McVeigh-Tejas for the interview that we did, saying she was with the Historical Society, which she is, but she was on there to talk about Leadership Roswell. So I goofed there.
Multiple hats,
but you're here, so we're glad. How's things going at the Sheriff's Department?
Well, we're doing pretty good. We were very fortunate that the commission gave us 6 new positions for deputies, and we're trying to fill those positions right now with qualified applicants. That's a challenge. It's a challenge. In today's climate, there's a lot of people that really don't choose this career field. I don't know why.
It's because they watch the news.
Yeah.
But and what you see in the news as far as the anti-police or anti-law enforcement attitudes or things, you don't see a lot of that around here.
No, we're really fortunate. You know, it's like yesterday I was at an academy recruiting, and I told the cadets there that, you know, in Eddy County, we're very fortunate that people like us and they support us, and you know, we have the community backing. This is, when we drive down the road, they wave at us and use all their fingers. So,
they're not just pointing in some direction.
So, yeah, but it's the truth. We have a really good community, and we have really strong community backing, and it would be very difficult to do this without it.
Yeah. 6 officers. Is that a lot at one time to try to add? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. We have a few, but we've also got some retirements coming up. So we have some in the pipe right now that would have backfilled where those retirements were coming in, and now we added 6 more on top of it. It just creates a challenge in trying to find qualified applicants.
Mm-hmm. Do applicants come from around this area, from around New Mexico, West Texas?
We have a little bit of all of it. We have right now we have an applicant from El Paso, 2 applicants from El Paso. We have 1 from Artesia. We have a couple of applicants that are out of Silver City, New Mexico. So they're applicants. It doesn't mean they're accepted yet. You know, we have to do a rigorous background investigation and so forth. But
do they have to have prior law enforcement experience?
No, we're actually hiring uncertified, which we don't normally do.
Okay. So if you're just interested in...
Yes, if you're 21 years of age, no felony convictions, and you want a exciting career in law enforcement, come see us. Give us a call.
Right. Is the need for you mentioned the retirements coming up, but is there a lot more crime in Eddy County, or just a lot more territory, or are you just trying to get to...
We're trying to keep up with the population. We had that massive population increase that showed on the census, but we also, as everybody knows, we have a massive population increase that did not show on the census. And with more people, it just creates more need for law enforcement activity. Everything from driving to everybody has little problems, and the more people you have, the more problems show up.
Mm-hmm. And I know in the past, the sheriff has talked about this in the past too. There's been the fentanyl, the drugs that have been coming through Eddy County. Is that continuing?
Yes.
Is it accelerating, or what are you seeing in that regard?
Well, if we're catching it, that means it's accelerating. We only catch a small percentage of it. I mean, the Drug Task Force does a really good job, and they have made great headway, but as we all know, once one person gets taken out, 2 more may step in to take their place.
So that's another concern. What about just property theft, crime like that? What are you seeing out in Eddy County?
We do have some property theft. We've had some copper theft because of the price of scrap. Once you see the economy turn like it has, the price of scrap metals usually go up when the price of oil usually goes up. I don't know why, but they kind of hand in hand.
Mm-hmm.
And as the price of copper has gone up, there's been some copper wire theft and things to that nature.
Yeah, something to keep an eye on. I know the price of fuel has gone up. I just saw I have a diesel pickup truck. Did you see diesel this morning in Artesia?
No, I did not see it this morning.
408 or 409, I think, is what I saw last night.
Remember, you need to cut expenses.
That's what the president said. But I got to go to Hobbs to do baseball, Now I know why Joby wants to ride with me. Because of how expensive fuel is right now. It's crazy. Recently, the county commission passed a illegal dumping ordinance. Has that ordinance made its way to the sheriff's department, and are the sheriff's deputies going to be any part of
Yes, we do enforce
process?
county ordinance. A lot of that will come off of code enforcement, but we still do enforce county ordinance. It's normally a citation that goes through the magistrate court.
Okay. Do you have to catch the people in the act, or will people be able to phone in and say, hey, somebody came out here and dumped a bunch of stuff on my property illegally?
Well, you can, if you catch someone in the act, obviously it's an immediate citation or arrest.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't catch them in the act, then an investigation has to take place, and then there has to be probable cause to determine who dumped that. And then if there is, then yes, a warrant can be issued.
Okay, so that being it's a county ordinance, does that investigative task?
It falls on us.
It falls on the...
Yes, because your city officers and such, they're not going to do county ordinance.
Okay. Another reason why we need some more sheriff's deputies. They're going to be looking at illegal dumping. But you and the sheriff's department deputies are out and about. I mean, how widespread is the illegal dumping problem in Eddy County that you've observed?
Well, it's definitely a problem. Like if you go down Atoka Road, I don't know why Atoka Road is a magnet for dumping. You'll see stuff there that wasn't there a couple days before, and there are certain areas, and a lot of it is on private property where people go and they find these pits and they just go back there and dump it. Car Ranch Road is one of those where they just go dump stuff, and tires is a big problem.
Yeah.
So.
And I know the county at their stations, their dumpster stations, they accept tires.
Right.
Now.
Yes, they used to not accept tires, but they do, and I don't know why you wouldn't just take them there, but
people are busy. They're busy.
Yes.
Is what they are. They're extremely busy.
It seems to me it's a lot harder to drive all the way out to Car Ranch Road and dump your tires to drive just right here outside.
I'm kind of like you. I'm like, that doesn't make sense, but people will do that. I don't know. Something else to look forward to, I guess, coming up next month is when the governor wants all the marijuana stuff sales to start kicking in. And I know that's been a challenge for law enforcement across New Mexico to be prepared for what can and cannot be enforced and so forth. What kind of bring us up to date on what the Eddy County Sheriff's Department, what you're ready for in that regard?
Well, the drug task force, if there is going to be someone who has a grower's license and such like that, the drug task force will review their applications and that to make sure their paperwork is in order. As far as the street level, is anything over 2 ounces is going to be illegal.
Okay.
So there's really not much other than to make sure that our folks understand that if you catch marijuana, you're going to have to make sure it's above 2 ounces before you can take criminal action.
Okay.
So
that's the major change with.
Yes, because it used to be, obviously possession was illegal, but anything over an ounce was a felony, and they've changed that now.
Okay. So at any point, is it a felony, or does it have to be over 2 ounces to be a felony, or has that changed?
Yes, it will become a felony, but you have to be over 2 ounces.
Over 2 ounces.
Yes.
Okay. And it's interesting because it's still federally...
Yes, illegal.
Illegal. So that doesn't get confusing at all, does it?
No. It's always been difficult to get the feds to touch marijuana. I believe you have to get over, I think it's 100 pounds before the feds would even get involved to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they know that. So whenever they move marijuana, they always keep it at right under the threshold.
Yeah. It's amazing how that happens.
Yeah.
It's kind of like in areas of the state and the country where they've stopped prosecuting crimes below a certain dollar amount.
Right.
It's amazing how the crime seems to rise up to just under that dollar amount.
Right.
So
now it was still a crime, but it just wouldn't. The federal government wouldn't get involved.
Right, as far as the marijuana
right.
Is concerned, but we don't have those types of. Do we have those kinds of changes as far as the
still,
DAs and the prosecution in this part of the state compared to?
If you go and shoplift, it's still a crime, even if it's $1.
In Eddy County?
Yes.
Good.
In New Mexico.
Yeah, but then some places, I guess, don't enforce it.
Right. Now, that would be a discretion that the agency would take.
Mm-hmm. So I think in Albuquerque they've kind of gotten into that situation there, but
yeah, they won't even respond.
Correct. But in Eddy County, is that?
We respond.
Yeah,
we respond. We try to respond. Our response may not be as fast as some people like. We have almost 5,000 square miles we're covering, and we try to get there as timely as we can. Our response may not be like a city would, because when I work for the city, I could be almost anywhere in 3 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, now you can't, but that was a long time ago.
That's true. That's true.
But yes,
it's up to 5 minutes now.
Right. But if there is a crime, we will do our due diligence to make sure that we do our part to prosecute the crime.
Yeah. Does the sheriff's department do the sobriety checkpoints, or is that state police?
No, we do them.
You do them?
Yes, we do them. We haven't done them. They kind of went away with the Fauci disease. And so I don't know if I'm not part of the grant process, so I don't know if that money has been brought back for the checkpoints.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I know that it will come back.
And for those, because whenever you've worked them, you've always see headlights turn around when people realize what's going on at the checkpoints. And now I guess with social media, people just start spreading the word about the checkpoints.
But I'm okay with that, because you shouldn't be driving if you're intoxicated. And if someone gets on social media and says, hey, because we advertise our checkpoints.
Mm-hmm.
So they're advertising for us. So if they say, hey, there's a checkpoint, don't drive drunk, and they stay home or stay where they're at drunk, I think we've accomplished our task.
They sober up when they do that.
Yes.
As far as the paperwork that is checked at a checkpoint, it's license, registration,
and insurance. Our checkpoints are that way. Some checkpoints, they only just check the driver's license. Some checkpoints, they don't even check any documentation. Like in Albuquerque, when they do a checkpoint,
mm-hmm.
they don't even check any documentation, at least the ones that I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they did that, traffic would be so backed up in Albuquerque, it would cause its own problems.
Sure.
And
so they're just looking for the intoxicated or
right
drivers.
And it's the reason why we check documents is because the process of a person getting their documents out helps us to determine if they are inebriated.
Mm-hmm. So in our case, when we had our dogs, that was the only thing that we were concerned about, because the dogs would just not shut up. So you slow down, you roll down the window, and the dogs are just going, rah, 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 going crazy back there. I'm sure you've seen some interesting things like that that happen. That's the only thing we're embarrassed about. But that's not a hard thing for folks to do, is just to make sure you have those documents in the vehicle.
Right. And when you come up to a checkpoint, checkpoints are no tolerance, because everybody has to be treated exactly the same. So if you have a discrepancy, you will receive a citation.
Mm-hmm. So just get your paperwork.
Have your paperwork with you.
Yeah. And
have your seatbelt on.
Oh yeah, that's right. Have your seatbelt on.
Have your seatbelt on. Don't be intoxicated or anything.
Well, that's a good thing. How many times have you seen when you're driving and you come up with somebody and you see somebody, grabbing the seatbelt?
It happens.
So I guess that's another way that you're just helping to encourage people to be safe.
Yes.
The other thing that I don't know if that irritates law enforcement or not is you'll be driving down the road and you'll see headlights flashing, meaning that there's somebody up ahead.
That doesn't irritate me at all.
Mm-hmm.
If the main goal is to slow people down. If that slows people down, then we're doing our job.
Yeah. Now, you do make sure and go after Texans over anybody else, right? No. I'm just kidding about that. Where I grew up, we didn't like the people from Illinois. So whenever we saw somebody from Illinois stopped, we were like, yes. Got that one. So it is kind of crazy. How's the technology? I know the body cams was a big issue last year because the state said, you got to do it. Has that all been implemented? That seems to be working as well as can be expected?
Right. We already had it in play. The only thing that we had to adjust was, well, we really didn't have anything to adjust because we kept our video for up to a year. The state requires 120 days. So now we may change because as we get bigger, the more data comes in. So we may end up adjusting that to where at 120 days we're going to purge the system. Mm-hmm. Now, if something is a crime or evidence, obviously it will not be purged. But if someone goes up and someone flags them down at Allsups and asks for directions to, where's First and Main, obviously we don't need to keep that for years. Mm-hmm. We are looking at, because our system that we have, our contract is coming up, and it's going to be a substantial cost to maintain that contract, software agreements and all that. I'm sure you're familiar with all that.
Oh, yeah.
So we're looking at actually changing what we're doing to a new system that has quite a bit of technology upgrade, and I've been wanting for a very long time what they call license plate readers that go in the car that automatically, like if you take a report and you enter let's say your car is stolen, we enter your license plate into our system. Now this goes off of our system. It doesn't go off of NCIC.
Okay.
And these systems are, anyone who has this program, all your systems are linked together. So if someone stole your car here and went to Carlsbad and driving along, and all of a sudden that plate, it automatically reads that plate and it'll pop up and say, hey, this might be stolen.
Okay.
And it's pretty neat. I've been wanting that for a very long time. It's just been way too expensive and out of reach and you have to have a lot of people participate in the program to make it work. Well, that database has largely grown, mm-hmm. and this new camera system we're looking at has that automatically built in.
Okay. Because it's probably impossible for law enforcement officers to remember every stolen vehicle report.
If someone in Colorado Springs has a stolen car and it's driving through Artesia and one of our units goes by and they participate in this program, it'll pop up, hey, this might be stolen.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty amazing how the technology is really...
It's kind of scary, but it's also pretty neat.
So the scanning of the plates, that data doesn't go anywhere. It's just looking at the plate, comparing it to the database.
Right.
And then it's not recording or... You're not tracking folks or anything like that.
And what it'll do is it'll tell you this is possibly stolen. Mm-hmm. So then you have to start conducting your investigation yourself, because there could be a time where the car was actually recovered, released back to the owner, and for some reason it didn't come out of the system. So you would have to then run it through NCIC, and then that will tell you whether it is actually stolen or not.
Okay. Or it could misread the plate.
Right.
Plate could be dirty. It could be something that isn't quite...
so it's just a tool. It is not necessarily, we're not going to, all of a sudden it pops up, they're not just going to be stopping everybody.
Mm-hmm. But I think it's great. As having been involved in something that was stolen from Artesia and taken to Carlsbad, a vehicle, having that technology available for law enforcement, I think would be a very valuable tool.
Right. And usually when something happens, it's a white pickup.
It's always
we get a call. Oh, there was a white pickup.
Yeah, which one of
you really narrowed that down for me? Thank you.
White pickup with a headache rack.
Yeah.
Okay.
And pickups, vehicles are basically built in wind tunnels nowadays, so they look very, very similar, especially at a distance.
Okay.
It's difficult, especially cars. Cars are really difficult. Unless you really are on top of your game and know every model of car. Years ago, a Buick versus a Ford LTD were completely different cars, and you could spot it a mile away.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Is that a Hyundai or is that a Toyota?
Right.
Or is that a Range Rover or a Ford?
And all their colors are similar nowadays.
Yeah.
You don't have any two-tones. Everything's just so similar.
Yeah.
It can be difficult.
A white pickup. That's probably the most common vehicle in Eddy County right now. So It's a white pickup with a black bumper.
Yeah.
It's got oil field equipment in the back.
Right.
You're still not helping. So what would help, I guess, like you said,
the license plate number, obviously, we get calls, and I understand people. We ask people to call us, and I'm not making fun of any of that.
Sure.
People, they do their best, and we do our best to find it. But it's funny. You get the call for the white pickup, a speeding vehicle, and it's a white pickup. I'm not going to go out and stop every white pickup. So
you can't.
No, you can't. And but we try. We try to find the vehicle, and it's just when you get that call, you're like, okay. I'll do what I can.
Yeah. So if it is a white pickup, be a little bit more specific.
If you can.
If there's a logo, if there's a company name
license
on
plate
there,
number.
license plate number, something to help narrow it down, as opposed to the 50% of all vehicles on the road in Eddy County. I'm going to start doing that now as I drive around. I'm going to see how many white pickups I count. So, well, good. Was there anything else we need to cover today? We talked about applying for open positions, and we talked about some of the new technology, some of the other things you're working on. Is there anything else we need to cover today?
No, we've got some community involvement stuff coming up.
Okay.
With like a child seat thing in Carlsbad. I don't remember the dates. If you want to go to the sheriff's Facebook page or what have you, or our website, some of this stuff is listed there. I would encourage you to do that. And just as spring is in the air, don't let it get to your head.
That's right. And we spring forward next weekend.
Right.
Not this weekend, but next weekend. So I've been enjoying the early morning light.
Yes.
That's going to be gone here for a few weeks.
I wish they would just do away with all that.
We kind of came up with the idea, let's go half an hour. We'll just split it half an hour and do that. And I found Newfoundland does that. So if you ask Siri or whatever what time it is in Newfoundland, it's however many hours ahead plus 30 minutes. So maybe we could join Newfoundland,
That sounds complicated.
Be off. In Texas it'll be 4 o'clock, in Arizona it'll be 3 o'clock, and in Artesia it'll be 2:30.
What's interesting is the time shift takes place at 2 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
And at one point I had made an arrest. The crime took place at 1:30. And then when I caught them, the time had fallen back, and I made the arrest at 1 o'clock. So it looks like you arrested them before the crime.
This is not Minority Report. You are not Tom Cruise.
Yes.
Isn't that an interesting concept in that movie? I'm sure you've seen that movie.
Yes.
Isn't that an interesting concept? Could you actually predict or identify somebody who's going to commit a crime before they commit the crime with any accuracy at all?
Well, if you think about it, they're trying to do that now with all these bans and things that they come out with.
Oh yeah. There's certain.
That's basically the same thing.
Yeah. But it's not 3 people sitting in milk, thinking about what it is, and then out comes a wooden ball that tells you. If people haven't seen the movie, you need to see the movie. It's not a bad movie. It's a pretty good sci-fi movie. I think Steven Spielberg had something to do with it, and Tom Cruise is in it, and some of its predictions of what things are going to be like in the future are kind of cool to think about too. Talking cereal boxes, Now the lights that come on when you walk in the door and everything, we have that now.
We have that.
We have that, but the talking cereal boxes, I don't think we're quite there yet. So, anyway, Captain Moore, thank you so much for coming in. We appreciate you.
Well, thanks for having us.
All right, we're going to take a break and see what Jared's got for you. We'll be back.
Now for your Pecos Valley News Update, I'm Jared Cirillo. New Mexico's top election regulator and prosecutor are now warning residents of Otero County to be wary of intrusive questions and potential intimidation by door-to-door canvassers linked to a review of the 2020 election that was authorized by the Republican-led county commission through a private company. Secretary of State Maggie Toulouse Oliver, a Democrat, said Wednesday that many Otero County residents have been caught off guard when approached by canvassers affiliated with the group called New Mexico Audit Force. They claim in some instances to be employees of Otero County. Roswell police asking for some help in identifying a man seen holding up a Family Dollar store on February 23rd. You can see the pictures on the RPD Facebook page. That's the man who walked into the Family Dollar on East 2nd Street, selected a few items of merchandise, and then waited for other customers to leave before demanding money from the clerk. He handed the clerk a note demanding the money. If you know anything, call Roswell Police. I'm Jared Zarello.
It's time for the Eddy County Sports Report. We told you about the beginning of the baseball season yesterday. How about softball? Well, the Carlsbad Cave Girls are already in action. They played a couple games on Centennial, sweeping Centennial 11-5 and 10-9, although that second game was not easy. Carlsbad won in 8 innings to go to 2-0 to start the season. Next action for Carlsbad, though, will be on March the 11th. I believe that's at Deming in a tournament. Remember, Carlsbad lost in the 5A championship last year to a state championship to Cleveland. Now, Artesia is the defending state champ in Class 4A, and they will be getting started next Tuesday against Alamogordo. They've got Riley Crandall back, senior, who is a stellar pitcher and hitter. Youngsters like Perseus Aguilar, Michaela Morilon. You've got some good players there. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at KSVP Radio, AM 990.
The Texas Tech Lady Raiders took on TCU last night. Find out how they did next on the Red Raider Daily Update.
From diagnosis through treatment, make Caprock Cardiovascular Center your one stop for cardiac, peripheral, and vascular care. Caprock Cardio is proud to offer Lubbock's first and only full-service cardiology clinic and cath lab, now serving the entire South Plains and eastern New Mexico regions from convenient, state-of-the-art facilities. Caprock Cardio wants to be your complete heart health provider. Caprock Cardiovascular Center and Cath Lab is a proud corporate partner of Texas Tech Athletics and the American Heart Association. Our town, our team.
Red Raider fans, Texas Farm Bureau Insurance wants you to throw out the first pitch at an upcoming Texas Tech baseball home game. Register to win at RedRaidersContest.com. Opportunities to throw out the first pitch are March 30th versus Stephen F. Austin, April 9th versus Kansas State, and May 20th versus Oklahoma. Winner will receive 2 game tickets, a pregame field experience, and throw out the ceremonial first pitch. Enter to win by visiting RedRaidersContest.com and be a VIP thanks to Texas Farm Bureau Insurance.
It was a close matchup last night at United Supermarkets Arena, but the Lady Raiders came out in front of TCU 83-79. Texas Tech got 27 points from Vivian Gray, 15 from Ella Tofeono, and 13 from Lexi Hightower. Up next, it doesn't get any easier for Texas Tech as they will head to Waco to take on the conference champion Baylor Bears. Last time, Baylor blew out Iowa State. This time, it'll be 2 p.m. Sunday, Texas Tech and Baylor. The Red Raider men are getting ready to close out the regular season. They'll do so this Saturday at Oklahoma State. The Cowboys last night got a big win over Iowa State. Tip-off at Gallagher-Iba Arena comes up at 2 p.m. this Saturday. Don't forget you can check out Texas Tech baseball all weekend long at Rip Griffin Park. First pitch tomorrow is 6:30 p.m. It's a 4-game set with Merrimack.
All right, thanks for the Red Raider update as they're getting into conference tournaments and thinking about the NCAA, the March Madness, and all that fun stuff coming up. I was listening to a little bit of Clay and Buck yesterday, and Clay was asking Buck if he was going to fill out a bracket, and Buck said that he had never in his life, in his entire life, ever had filled out a NCAA tournament bracket. And it just blew Clay away. He had never actually met anybody in person who had never in their life filled out a bracket. I filled them out in the past. I know one year there was an employer here in town not too far from where we are, and they were looking for money victims to fill out, so they have enough on their bracket. And I won. And so they had to give me the money, and they never asked us again to participate. It was supposed to be a one-way flow of the money. I put my $5 in. I wasn't supposed to win any of that money back. I was just contributing to the pot.
To the growth there.
Yes. And so I got in trouble for, they never asked me again. It's kind of like one year, this was back in Mississippi, we did wheelchair basketball. And there's folks that are really, really good at wheelchair basketball.
Yes,
and
they
tour the country and they perform for everything. And they always get local celebs to come out and lose to the
Mess with them.
Yeah. Well, they mess with us. We don't mess with them.
That's what I'm talking about.
And so we're playing the game, and I make a basket. I couldn't make a basket when I wasn't in a wheelchair, let alone in a wheelchair. And then they started cutting me off. They wouldn't.
They thought you maybe knew how to do something.
They thought I was good, and I kept telling them. I said that was like the luckiest shot on the face of the earth. I promise I will not hit. But I couldn't even get the ball passed to me because anytime anybody would think about throwing it to me, boom, 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 they're cutting me off because those guys are good.
Yes.
I mean, they're really good at that, and I'm terrible at it. Anyway, Carol's here. We're going to talk what's happening at the Senior Center next.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason. Oil prices continuing their upward march, now at a 14-year high. The price spike fueled by the war in Ukraine and fears of a supply crunch. Fewer Americans applied for unemployment benefits last week.
The Labor Department says jobless claims fell by 18,000 to 215,000 for the week ending February 26th. The 4-week average for claims, which compensates for weekly volatility, fell by 6,000 to 230,500. In total, 1,476,000 Americans were collecting jobless aid for the week that ended February 12th. That's a small uptick of 2,000 from the previous week's revised number.
That's correspondent Jeremy House. Wall Street opened higher this morning, although there is still a good deal of anxiety over the war and what the Fed will do next. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason.
When I was young, I thought I had forever to prepare for retirement. But as the years went by, retirement got closer and closer. Well, I wish I'd have started saving 10 years earlier.
How you spend your retirement depends on what you do now while you're still working. We've helped a lot of area seniors prepare for retirement. Stop in and see us about saving for yours. Western Bank of Artesia. We're big on you. Member FDIC.
When it comes to your tires, don't take any shortcuts. Trust Forest Tire. They've been keeping you rolling for 78 years. Forest Tire knows tires, and they know that being there is what matters most. That's why Michelin packs more innovation inside its tires to maximize performance without sacrificing capabilities. So you can continue to go the extra mile to be there for the ones who matter most. Delivering service that exceeds your expectations. Forest Tire, keeping you rolling since 1944.
I guess it doesn't matter. Welcome back on the Good Morning Artesia radio show. Carol is here from the Artesia Senior Center. Good morning, Carol.
Good morning. Glad to be here. Missed last time. I was on vacation.
You were on what? What is vacation? What is that?
We took grandkids and went to Ruidosa.
Oh, wow.
It's all right. I came back to work 3 of the 5 days, so I had to come in for different things. But
yeah, but the only way I get vacation is I got to get sick.
And I don't wish that on you at all.
You know, I have to get sick to get a day off.
That's what you call owner.
You know, and then and twice now in the last 2-3 weeks, there's been something that has gone goofy, and it's been in the evening after I'm home and I'm watching some goofy stuff on YouTube.
And the owner gets to come back and fix it.
Get the IT guy on the phone or whatever and say, let's get this thing fixed. So
hey,
it's...
Gene, you got to remember, you're talking to the woman that you would call at 4:30 in the morning.
I know.
Hours down, I'd say, yes, I know. Michael's been out for 2 hours, but I'll let him know.
Well, I'm glad he was there. So, well, let's see what's happening.
I'm going to mention this first and mention it last because all my training says, tell them again.
Mm-hmm.
Bingo has been moved to 1 o'clock on Fridays.
Okay.
So for all you bingo pros, come on down to the Senior Center. It's at 1 o'clock.
Okay.
Okay. It normally was at 1:30, but we've moved it to 1 o'clock.
Well, it's 1 o'clock on Thursday.
No,
right?
bingo.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Bingo is...
Bingo.
Okay.
Fridays.
Fridays.
Bingos is Fridays at 1 o'clock.
Okay.
Okay. Let's just get started then with today. I saw painters coming. Their exercise video. Those people were already exercising and probably finished by now. The painters were coming in when I left. Some of the line dancers were already there. It's at 9:30. Bridge at 1. Open Art Studio at 1. Swedish Weaving. Texas Hold'em. And then the exercise video again. Then we're to the New Mexico low income tax rebate. It is not New Mexico state tax that we fill out.
Right.
It is not federal tax that we fill out. We have so many people come and call, and they just need help. Well, can you answer these questions? We're not tax advisors. We don't claim to be. We cannot be.
Right.
But we can send you to somebody local if you need us to look up an address.
Yeah.
But we can't do that. So if you're low income tax, come down today from 9 to 11. She didn't put it. It's 9 to 11 and 1 to...
Well, is it in the afternoon in March?
No, you're right. That was February.
It's
February. 9 to 11 that we'll be doing this. So come down, bring your paperwork. You have to bring all your income. Has to have all your income. You have to have your Social Security number. You have to have your valid ID, whether it's an ID, a driver's license, whatever.
Right.
To come, and we'll help you get that done. Tomorrow, here on Earth, we had people asking about that already. They thought they were here Wednesday. They're coming tomorrow from 9 to 11 should you need help. And one of the real important things tomorrow is Employee Recognition Day. So, are you going to recognize your employees? You're going to say, good morning, Gene.
That's Tana.
Good morning,
recognize
Gene.
her.
Good morning, Tana. And all you guys in the back that we can't see, we do appreciate what y'all do. Fridays is Creative Crafters. They're doing some really neat things, making some butterflies.
Okay.
Out of clothespins.
Oh, wow. That sounds interesting.
I told them to get them together. I'd bring one over.
Yeah.
Hand and foot. They're enjoying that at 10 o'clock. Bridge and sewing. I want to prepare you all. From now on, we're not going to read all this across because it's there. If you don't get a newsletter, listen to Gene Dow every hour on the hour.
Yep.
Click on the website for the city. It's there. Or come see us. Most important, come see us at 202 West Chisholm, and we'll get you a newsletter. Next Monday, I'm going to finish this week out, and then we're going to try a new program next week.
Okay.
Next Monday, exercise video. And there, like I said, they were there this morning already exercising. Creative Crafters at 9. Train dominoes. It's so cute to hear them giggle and laugh and carry on. 42's always looking for people to substitute or start another table. The sewing at 1:30 and exercise video at 4. Green thumbs. If you have a plant that is unique to this area, unique to just us, come down, show us. Bring us a clipping. Let us try to see. They're trying to root different things, and they've been so successful that they've been able to give plants, little starter plants away.
Okay.
So, and people seem to be excited about it. Tuesday, important thing, free watch batteries. Limit 2.
Okay.
Okay. 10 o'clock blood pressure. And this is what I tell you every time about J&J Home Care. They come out, and I tell you, they do a mini physical. They even give them the calendar so they can track it, take it back to their provider. Check things out. The newest thing we've started is poker.
Yeah.
Now, you can't tell me in college you didn't play poker.
I didn't go to college.
Oh. In high school, you didn't play poker?
We played spades.
I've played that before.
Yeah, that was our popular game
back then.
Yeah,
spades.
Was spades.
Well, we started poker, and it's dealer's choice.
Okay.
So it's kind of funny when Carol's dealing. Every now and then I get lucky and win a pot.
The only thing I know about poker is from watching MASH.
Well, I bought a new deck of cards when we were on vacation to play with the kids, and inside it has a little cheat sheet.
Oh, wow.
What beats what? And I thought I should take that to the senior center and make copies of it for, people like me that need to know what beats what. So you can say, just a minute. How many cards you need? Just a minute. Let me see. What beats 3 of a kind? Then, of course, everybody knows I have 3 of a kind.
So, well, that's right. Well, you could be bluffing. You could be bluffing. You
Not
could be
very well.
saying that, and in reality, it's something totally different. But you got everybody all worried.
Out of all this time I've been playing with them, I bluffed and won one time.
One time.
One time.
Well, good for you.
So Tuesday, the exercise video, that same group will be coming. The woodworking at 9, and we've had several people bringing in projects, so it's really neat. That's going well. Bringing in, trying to learn. Stan is there. Sometimes he does a little more than, because it's some things they can't do. Like the other day, he was using a router. I was like, I have no idea where to even turn it on. Don't know that I want to know.
Yeah.
I like my fingers.
That's right.
And then the intermediate line dancing at 9:30.
Mm-hmm.
Again, bridge. The bridge people are starting to come back since no mask. Can
That's
everybody hear me?
They're optional.
I'm leaning up to this microphone. They are optional, and nobody cares if you choose to wear a mask. Nobody will harass you. Come on down.
That's right.
If you want to wear a mask, great. If you don't want to wear a mask, great. If you want to wear your shield, great.
Mm-hmm. So whatever you're comfortable
Just
with.
come have fun. But there still is. She still has that 6-foot rule in.
Oh, well.
She hasn't lifted that yet.
We didn't use that when we voted.
I'm trying to cover the microphone so nobody heard that.
No, I meant in line while we were waiting in line. No, we weren't next to each other at the box. We were.
Okay.
The line was there. We weren't 6 feet apart.
I chose not to vote.
Uh-oh.
I tried 3 different times, and they wouldn't let me vote.
You work at the senior center.
I live in the county.
Oh.
I was waiting for that one.
Well, you couldn't vote then.
Correct, but I tried.
You tried.
The vote person in charge there was on top of it every time I asked. Wednesdays, exercise video tops. Come out, tops, take off pounds. Thank you for having me.
And don't forget,
Bingo.
Bingo is at 1 o'clock.
Tomorrow.
1 o'clock.
From now on.
From now on, it's at 1 o'clock.
Thank you, Gene.
Thank you, Carol. And let's see what's happening in the world.
Killed so far. And then there's the humanitarian crisis with more than 1 million people forced to flee their homeland. The BBC's Nick Thorpe is on the Hungary-Ukraine border.
This particular crossing here, Bereg-Shuran, just in the last few minutes, minibus after minibus has been arriving here, unloading people who've just crossed the border on foot. It's a pretty organized response. I noticed overnight that there was a statement from the Russian military saying that civilians would be allowed to leave Kiev to the south. That might sound a generous offer from an invading army. In fact, I think many of the Ukrainians I've been speaking to here over the past days would see that as a threat. In other words, the Russians are, in a way, trying to increase this wave of refugees.
And Ukrainian President Zelensky saying that Ukrainian doctors have been treating wounded Russian troops. Zelensky urging those troops to turn around and go home. In Washington, President Biden appealing to Congress to approve more money for Ukraine, as well as for COVID-related expenses.
As lawmakers try to wrap up a planned budget agreement by next week, the White House is seeking 2 major additions. The administration wants another $10 billion to help protect Ukraine against the Russian invasion, plus an extra $22.5 billion to pay for testing, treatments, and vaccine.
And that's White House correspondent Greg Clugston. More volatility this morning on Wall Street. The key averages, which had been higher, are now in the red. The Dow is down 147 points. The NASDAQ Composite Index off 193, and the S&P 31 points lower. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Hi, I'm cute kid number 1. And I'm cute kid number 2. And we have been forced, you mean hired? We have been hired to tell you what direct lender FOMO is. So let's say you buy a new home, and maybe you use one of those big mortgage monsters.
Or someone your realtor or friend recommends.
And then a few months later, you hear us being forced, hired
to tell you about our mortgage team's Direct Lender Advantage.
And then you feel like you missed out.
Because you probably did miss out.
And that is direct lender FOMO.
It's Ryan, and our mortgage team is an arm of a bigger company who is a direct lender, which means our company gets to use its own money and make its own decisions within its own walls. There's no middleman. This often allows us to get you a better rate on that new home mortgage, saving you monthly and lifelong money. We are United Faith Mortgage.
United Faith Mortgage is a DBA of United Mortgage Corp. 25 Melville Park Road, Melville, New York. Licensed mortgage banker. For all licensing information, go to NMLSConsumerAccess.org. Corporate NMLS number 1330. Ryan Breck, NMLS number 65233. Equal housing lender. Licensed in Alaska, Hawaii, Georgia, Massachusetts, North Dakota, South Dakota, or Utah.
A Tokyo court has handed a suspended sentence to the former American executive at Nissan charged with underreporting his boss's pay.
Tokyo prosecutors have got their conviction. Greg Kelly has been found guilty on one count of hiding the true amount that Nissan Motors was paying its former chief executive Carlos Ghosn. However, the Tokyo court ruled that Mr. Kelly was not guilty of a wider conspiracy to hide tens of millions of dollars of remuneration to the former CEO. The prosecutors had asked for a 2-year jail term. Instead, Mr. Kelly was given a 6-month suspended sentence and should now be able to leave Japan almost immediately.
The BBC's Rupert Wingfield-Hayes. Philippine troops killed at least 7 ISIS terrorists in a recent offensive in the south. Also recovering 45 heavy firearms, several bombs and landmines that the military says were to be used in future attacks. Breaking news and analysis, townhall.com. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen says the administration is out to strip Russian oligarchs of their riches.
Secretary Yellen says the U.S. wants to uncover, freeze, and seize the global wealth of Russian millionaires supportive of President Vladimir Putin and his war on Ukraine. The head of the Treasury made her remarks in a speech at the University of Illinois Chicago after visiting a Ukrainian bakery to show support for that embattled country. She told reporters that the Treasury Department would monitor how sanctions against Russian companies and powerful individuals are performing and suggested they will intensify. Yellen stressed that with the world's largest economies united, it will be difficult for Russia to avoid the financial bite of the restrictions. Jennifer King, Washington.
An improving jobs picture. The Labor Department reports a number of people who applied for unemployment benefits fell last week, dropped by 18,000 from the previous week, falling to 215,000. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Today's KSVIP is Kathy Pennington. Kathy will be celebrating a birthday tomorrow. Happy birthday on Friday, March 4th. Kathy is church secretary at Midway Baptist, communications assistant at the Pecos Valley Baptist Association, and director of the PVBA Disaster Relief Feeding Program. Thank you, Kathy, for everything you do. Today, Kathy, you're going to receive a flower from Lovebud Floral and KSVP. Today's KSVIP, Kathy Pennington.
Just too white and nerdy. Can't you see I'm white and nerdy? Look at me, I'm white and nerdy. I wanna roll with the gangsters, but so far they all think I'm too white and nerdy. I'm just too white and nerdy. Think I'm just too white and nerdy. I'm just too white and nerdy. Really, really white and nerdy.
My class there at MIT. Got skills. I'm a champion at D&D.
So, do you think I'm kidding, or do you think that's real up there? We were talking about. We were talking about the picture on the wall, our concept for our new store, our new retail store called Propaganda. And we're going to have talk radio and medicinal marijuana.
Sister, what is he talking about?
I don't know. The only thing I know, sister, is just Grammy's home remedy.
Yes.
That's exactly what we're going to call it.
I don't know anything about that. The only thing I know is winter elect.
No, sister, no. It's the rosemary restorative.
No,
It's good all around
Alexa
no,
was
sister.
good for backbones.
No, sister.
All right.
No, sister.
That's what's coming up, folks. We're gonna...
Yes, absolutely. Now, this thing about marijuana, I do not know anything about that.
Sister.
So stick around, folks. We're going to have some more where that came from here in just a few minutes. A reminder, the Artesia Bulldog baseball season starts today, and they're going to be playing in the Black Gold Slugfest which is a round-robin tournament in Hobbs, America today. So it's not a bracketed deal, so we know when they play and who they play the 3 days. So today at 4:30, Artesia will be playing Pewaukee Valley. Do you know their mascot by chance? Pewaukee Valley? They are the Elks. The Pewaukee Valley Elks. That'll be at 4:30. So Joby and I will be there, and we're going to put it on the radio and hopefully on the TV. Knock on wood. The internet works. KSVPTV.com. That's where we are now. Yeah. Yeah, see that camera right over there?
Sister. No, and I'm trying not to.
Then on Friday, they're going to play at 2:30 against Santa Fe. And then on Saturday at 10, they're going to play Cleveland, which is the school in Rio Rancho.
Right. And they're called the Storm.
The Storm.
Oh.
Just one storm.
Oh, just one storm.
Just the storm.
Beware of the storm.
Just the storm.
Just the storm. So we have to... Anyway, don't get me started on all that. Now, there's also basketball on Saturday.
Okay.
The first round, the round of 16 in the NMAA State Basketball Tournament starts Saturday night. Artesia drew an 8 seed, and Lovington drew the 9 seed. So we get to play Lovington again. Fourth time this year. So Saturday night, 6 o'clock at the Bulldog Pit, Artesia and Lovington. And no passes. So if you have your season ticket or passes, that doesn't count. You have to buy a ticket. And you can only buy them online. So if you have an iPhone, you get an app called GoFan. If you have an Android phone, you go to the internet and you go to gofan.co. And then you search for Artesia High School, Artesia, New Mexico, and then the ticket prices will come up. It's $10 for adults, $5 for seniors, military, and students K through 12. And you have to buy them online. You can't print them out. And then whatever device you make the purchase with, you bring that device with you with the app open to prove to the nice folks there that you bought your tickets, and then they will let you in the door. Yeah, so everything's online for your tickets, and they have activated the ticket sales, so you can now go to the gofan.co website or the GoFan app on your iPhone, and you can start buying your tickets for Saturday night's game. So 6 o'clock at the Bulldog Pit. Now, if you aren't going to be able to go, we will have it on the radio and we will have it on the TV. So you can watch it at ksvptv.com. And that'll be our last game that we get to video. So from then on, it goes to Albuquerque, and you have to buy a subscription, and you can watch those people do it. Not us.
Those people.
Those people.
Those people.
Them are doing it. So, okay. What kind of weather are we going to have? I got to go to Hobbs today. Is it going to be nice, Steve?
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty warm for the next few days, but we do have low pressure moving through the area, causing some gusty wind by tomorrow. Pretty nice today. A little bit breezy. We'll be in the low to mid 70s and partly sunny. Overnight, some clouds and mid 40s, and then gusty wind on Friday. Sunshine, and we'll hit the low 80s. Not as windy on Saturday and Sunday, mid 70s and fair. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
We just have the water. Although there is some champagne in the back there. Isn't that how you say that word? Champagne? Yeah. It's from France.
No, I don't think so either, sister. Not so early. Oh, no, it is early.
Hey, it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Oh, well, okay. That's true.
And it's actually 30 minutes off in Newfoundland. I did not know this till the other day, that Newfoundland decided we're not going to do this time change. So they just went 30 minutes, split the difference, and so their time in Newfoundland is 30 minutes off of everybody else.
That's crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy.
Hey, Siri. What time is it in Newfoundland?
It's 12:42 p.m. in St. John's, Canada.
12:42. So there you go. It reminds me of a George Carlin bit, but we won't go into that. All right, mostly sunny, 51 in Artesia. We have winds out of the north at 5, humidity at 26%, pressure at 30.16 holding steady. Our air quality is 37, so we have good air quality. Our high yesterday was 74, overnight low 31. 1 year ago, 62 the high, 22 the low. Minimum 4-inch soil temps around 45 degrees. So it's almost weed spurting time. Doing that. Let's see. In Hobbs, it's 61 degrees. And if you're going to the baseball game at first pitch today, it'll be about 73, 72 degrees at first pitch. Ocotillo time. And our guests today are with the Ocotillo Comedy Troupe. Maria Almanza and Melanie Dipple. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Are you in character?
Why, what is he talking about? I have no idea. I always talk like this, sister. Yes, sister. I don't know. I have no idea what he's talking about. No, I don't either. Oh, well.
So I...
he's the one that's talking funny. Yes.
You know, they used to tell me that when I moved from Iowa down to Alabama.
Oh,
they told me I talked funny.
Oh, I'm sure they did.
I said, y'all are nuts. Y'all.
Yes. Do we say y'all? Well, I think we do. Yes,
now
I think we do. Yes.
You're in the play Secrets of the Buttermilk Hotel.
Yes.
What characters do you play?
Oh, well, I'll let you introduce us. Oh, well, I'm Sarah.
Yes.
And this is my sister, Emily. And, do we go ahead and say? Oh, I don't know. I think that's part of the secret.
Yes, I don't think we can say too much more as to who we are. However...
Other than your sisters.
Yes, we are we're sisters. Yes. Very proud.
Yes. Oh, yes. Sister nor I never married.
Okay.
Yes. Well, yeah, we are spinsters.
Yes,
spinsters.
We are. Ladies.
Now, do you live at the Buttermilk Hotel?
No. We're there for a reunion.
Yes, we come every year. It's so much fun.
Okay.
Yes.
So you're back for the reunion.
Yes, we are.
And are there other... Is this a high school reunion, a college reunion?
No. It's just a fun friend reunion. Yes.
Okay.
Oh, but there are other people that are there. And let's see. Well, do you want us to tell who they are or who they play? What would you like?
Just tell us who the who are some of the folks that are staying with you at the Buttermilk Hotel? Who are some of these characters, if you will?
Well, now, I'm not sure if they are staying there or if they live there, but there are some. This time around, sister, I do believe that there's way more people there at the hotel than normal.
Yes.
However, people have purchased, I believe, this hotel, and there's some strange goings on. Don't you?
They're oddballs.
Yes, they
oddballs.
are. I just don't understand. Well, let's see now. There is Delphine Sykes and Betty Jean McWheaton and J.H. Haynes, and then I believe that they are the co-owners of the Buttermilk Hotel. And then, of course, there is Donald Wayne Pugh.
Oh, and poor boy.
I feel so bad for him.
What happened to Mr. Pugh?
Oh, well, he's got back trouble.
Oh, no.
Shortness, and he's the handyman.
Yes, and they let him go up and down these stairs. He's just a sick man.
They have him running here and there. And
they're not very nice about it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, no. And then let's see, there is a Cecil Pickens.
I
don't really I don't care for him too much. He's quite the busybody.
Yes,
and then there is a Floyd Galloway.
I thought it was Calloway.
It's all right,
my apologies,
sister.
Floyd. My apologies.
Oh, you can't get anything right there. Okay, and then there is, of course, me, and then there's, of course, my sister Sarah.
Yes.
And then there's this crazy, weird, Loony Mooney. It is Loony Mooney. I thought it was Mooney.
Looney.
No, I think it's Luna. She's just way out there. And then there's Madame Zolovich. Now, she's an oddball. And then there's a Finis Whitless. But I believe that's all there is.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, talking about technology.
Oh,
Yes.
my goodness.
He comes in with all kinds of gadgets.
Oh, yes.
I
and I don't really know what he's going to be using those for. So if you want to know, you need to come and find out.
Oh, yes.
Because there's all kinds of goings on.
Now, you have been to the Buttermilk Hotel before.
Oh, yes.
This is your reunion.
Yes.
There. Now, is this an old hotel?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, it was built. Oh, goodness. Back
1900?
I believe so, yes. So it is an older hotel, but it's home.
Yeah. So being an older hotel like this, has anybody died in the hotel? Are there
I don't
ghosts
know.
in the hotel?
No, I've never seen a ghost. Have you?
No, I've never seen a ghost in there.
Oh, no, not at all. No, I don't believe there's any ghosts. No.
Okay.
No.
But you would know.
No. Well, we've never seen one, so I guess we would know.
Have you been all through the hotel? I mean, is there any hidden places in the hotel?
Been through the whole hotel.
But I've never seen anything hidden, have you?
No.
No, I
No
don't
secret
believe so.
rooms or
No.
dark basements with...
There is a basement, but it's not dark. They've got lights down there.
Oh,
Now,
okay.
Finis and Donna Wayne go down there all the time.
And they
They
come
do.
back up, so I think they're all right.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think it's fine.
Maybe that's where the moonshine is.
Oh.
Maybe that's why they go.
I didn't think about that. Well, I guess if you need to know about that, you'll just need to come and find out.
Which is on
Yes.
Friday,
Yes.
April 22nd.
Yes.
So
At
it's coming up.
6:30.
Yes.
And Saturday, May 20. May. Did I say May?
Sister, it's
oh, my
April.
goodness.
Oh, I'm telling you,
I think I need one of those Grammys home remedies.
Yes, maybe you've had too much.
Saturday, April 23rd
Yes.
at 2 p.m. And again at 6:30.
Yes, we're doing
So if you can't go in the afternoon, you can go
in the
at night.
evening, yes.
And then Sunday at
April the 24th.
at 2 p.m.
Yes, and that would be our final performance. So you have 3 opportunities to come and see what's going on at the Buttermilk Hotel.
Yeah.
Yes.
So can you tell us more about your characters, if you will, Sarah and Emily? Are you retired? What did you do? Were you
Well, I think
in
we
your
were-
career? Did you work? Did you?
Oh, yes, we worked. We worked hard.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. We did all kinds of things. I mean, we are quite the intelligent.
Absolutely.
I mean, we dabbled in all kinds of things.
Okay.
We learned a lot, too, from Granny.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, she taught us a lot.
Yes, she did, and she has passed down all of her secrets to us.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So you know everything.
Yes.
absolutely.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
So why the Buttermilk Hotel for your reunion? Are
Well,
there
it's-
other places, or is it?
Oh, no, this is just where we like to go, and it's in Buttermilk, Oklahoma.
Okay.
So, of course, they're going to name the hotel Buttermilk because
Okay.
it's in Buttermilk, Oklahoma.
Buttermilk,
Yes.
Oklahoma.
Yes.
What is Buttermilk, Oklahoma near? Is it near anything?
I'm not sure. It's way kind of out.
By Ada?
Oh, it could be. Oh,
Okay.
I think you're right. Yes, I think you're.
Yeah.
It's a very small little town, though.
Okay.
Yes, and probably it's the most famous thing is the hotel, don't you think?
Yes.
Yes, I think so too.
Brings people from all over.
Oh, yes, yes.
Based on the other people that you talked about that are going
Yes,
to be there. Now
yes,
this Madam character.
Oh, she
What's it about her? What is she?
We don't really
why
know.
is she so mysterious?
Well, she's just kind of odd.
And she comes in so demanding.
Yes, and she's got this accent that I have never heard before.
Oh my goodness.
Zolovich. She comes in and says, Zolovich.
Oh, you've got her down good, sister.
Well, you know, she is so demanding.
Oh,
you
she
can't
just
help
tells
it.
you to do this and do that and hurry up and bring tea up to her. I just don't understand her. She's very demanding. But now the other one that I'm really afraid of is that Luna Mooney. Oh, I never can get her.
Yeah,
She is wild. Oh, my goodness. And the things that she says, you can't understand nothing she says. Nothing that comes out of her mouth makes any sense at all.
Really? She talk about other people? She talks about
We don't really know what she's talking
just
about.
like-
It's just out of the world. She talks about stars, and she talks about this, and she talks about... I don't know. She scares me.
Yes. Anyway. But, you know, that's not the only interesting thing that's happening there.
Oh, okay.
What else is there?
At the
Of
buttermilk?
course, this is very nice. Oh,
yes.
tickets. We need to talk
Oh,
about
yes.
Yes.
Oh, yes, indeed. If you happen to be going through town and you see a flyer that looks like this, they are so technologically, just out of this world. There's this little thing there that you can put your phone up to, and
let's
you
just see
can
if that
scan
works.
it, and you can get your tickets that way.
Let's just see if that works. if
Isn't
you don't
that
mind.
oh no, not at all.
So
You
I'm
just
gonna-
that way you can get your front row center seat.
So I open up the camera.
Yes.
And it says artesiaartscouncil.com.
It worked. And you can buy your ticket there.
And so if I click on when it comes up, it brings me to
wow,
the
sister.
Artesia Arts Council right there.
Oh, see, look at that.
Yes,
Isn't
it takes
that
you right
Let
there.
us entertain you.
Yes.
Ocotillo
that will
Comedy
be
Troupe.
It'll be an easy way to come and get your tickets.
Well, there's a summary here.
Oh, see,
Of the play.
Oh, well, you just go right ahead and
go
read
ahead and
it.
tell
May I
us
read
what
it?
it's about.
Yes.
It says 4 enterprising citizens from Buttermilk, Oklahoma, decide to pool their resources and purchase the old Buttermilk Hotel.
Yes, they did.
Thanks to an overzealous news reporter. Who's the news reporter? Do you remember?
That would be Floyd Galloway.
Yes.
Floyd.
He is played by a newcomer, Chris Dooley.
Chris Dooley, okay, plays the part of Floyd
Yes.
Galloway, who is
Yes.
the overzealous news reporter.
Oh, he certainly is.
Word gets out that the Buttermilk Hotel is haunted.
It's haunted?
So there must be a suspicion that it's haunted.
Why, sister, I didn't know it was haunted.
I didn't either.
We've been coming there for years. No one told
Nobody
us that.
told us
No.
that. We've never seen anything that feels like it's haunted.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness.
A circus-like atmosphere soon prevails when professional jealousy
Oh, yes, I think so.
arises among the various ghost hunters. Now,
Ghost
are you
hunters?
ghost hunters?
Oh, no.
You're not ghost
No,
hunters.
we're just spinster
No,
sisters.
we're just there for a reunion. We
Okay.
told you.
Oh, my
I know. That's what you
goodness.
said.
Yeah. Maybe that's what
So-
all that equipment's for.
So you're just kind of sitting there observing all these different ghost hunters that
Oh,
are...
this is scary. I don't want to go back. No, I don't want to go back.
No,
oh,
this is getting scary.
yes, oh dear.
But what if they don't find any ghosts?
Well, then we can come back next year.
We just go there for our reunion. We go there every year for our reunion.
Yes, we do. Yes.
Well, maybe
Rain or
there's a
shine.
Yes.
maybe there's a Holiday Inn Express down the road.
Oh, well, there could be. We haven't tried that. We
No.
it
We
wouldn't be the
have to
same.
go to the Buttermilk
Yeah, it wouldn't be the same. That's
yeah.
right.
So I wonder if this Madam
Zolovich.
Zolovich, if she's a ghost hunter, maybe she can sense the ghosts.
I don't know, but
Maybe so.
I don't
We
know.
need to-
Now, she is played by Kelly Speckhart,
Okay.
who has been in several plays with us before, and she's quite good. Yes.
Okay.
Now, we also have Candace Green and Becky Turpinning and James Bennett and Liz Parra.
Oh,
and yes,
she is such a sweetie.
Yes, she is. And then there's Donald Dutchover
Oh.
and Chris Dooley, like we mentioned before, and of course my sister and me. And then there's Kimberly, we call her Kimmy, she's such a sweetie, Bennett, and then Kelly Speckhart and Lindell Smith. Now, he is Finis Witless. And
He's a
you must,
technology
he's the one that brings in all this heavy
Okay.
equipment.
Well, maybe
But
he's the ghost hunter.
He's the ghost hunter.
Oh.
We need to keep an eye on him.
Yes, and I thought he was such a sweet, dear little man. No, perhaps not. No, perhaps not. But we have a full cast, and it is directed by Lindsay
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm so sorry, Lindsay. It just totally slipped my mind. Oh, my.
And the play is
Yes.
by the Moonlight Riders.
Yes.
And I think they're from Oklahoma.
Yes, I believe they are.
I think Lindsay has said that before.
Yes,
So
yes.
now, did you say there's some other things coming up at the Ocotillo
Yes,
that we
there
need to mention?
is.
Okay.
Yes. And we brought you some flyers.
Oh, excellent. I like flyers. May I have this
Yes.
one?
Oh, of course.
Okay.
That's why
All
we
right.
brought it. Now, you're going to
I'm sorry.
I'm going to
There you
give
go.
him this one.
Okay. Oh, okay.
We
So
do
we
have
have,
a couple of things coming up. We have the Ocotillo Performing Arts Theater Camp. Now, this is quite the thing, and it is for the children.
Mhm.
And there's just going to be all kinds of things. And there's different ages, 4 to 6, and then 7 to 11, and 12 to 18. So that they're going to get all the children.
Do we qualify for the 12 and 18?
Well, yes, sister, I think we do.
so.
Yes. And then you can talk about
Oh, and then on Friday, April the 8th at 6 o'clock is Johnny Pierce and the Muttville Comics.
Doesn't that look cute?
Oh,
Little
look at
doggies?
that.
Yes.
These are stray animals that Johnny has rescued and then trains to perform in the act.
How exciting.
Eventually, they will be adopted out.
Oh.
Then he'll go rescue some more and train them for the next tour. So,
Oh, I'm not going to tell my daughter about that.
Oh, well, yes, I can
Yeah.
see. And, I did neglect to say when the theater camp is coming
Yes,
up.
yes.
And that is Monday, March the 21st through Friday, March the 25th, which I believe is our spring break.
okay.
I believe.
You may
so
be
that
right.
is something the kids can go to.
Yes, something to do while they're, and it does say space is limited, so you definitely want to go to theartscouncil.com or call, or there you
it's got
can
one
even
of those
scan. Yes, you can scan.
thingamajiggy.
Yes, and you can, those little square things that you can put your phone up there and get your ticket. Yes.
Okay. When do we hope spring break is?
21st to
We
the
think
25th.
it's the 21st through the 25th.
Of
March. Yes.
Spring break. It's on the school calendar. Spring break.
I
so.
am so good.
You are so good, sister.
Excellent.
Yes,
Well, there's a lot going on at the
Yes.
Ocotillo, so get the
Yes.
kids signed up for theater camp March 21st through the 25th.
Yes.
Get your tickets for Johnny Pierce and the Muttville Comics.
Yes.
And that's coming up Friday, April 8th. And then, of course, the Ocotillo Comedy Troupe, Secrets of the Buttermilk Hotel.
Yes.
Friday, April 22nd, 6:30. Saturday, April 23rd, 2 performances.
Yes, 2
p.m. and
performances,
6:30.
2 opportunities.
And then Sunday, April 24th at 2 p.m. at the Ocotillo Performing Arts. Tickets are $20 for adults. Kiddos are 10, and you can get them at artesiaartscouncil.com.
Yes, you can.
Anything else we need to cover?
Y'all come.
Well, ladies, thank you so much. Which one of you is the older sister?
She
Well, I guess
She is the most sophisticated of us all.
That didn't take long for her to answer,
it
did it?
didn't, did it?
I mean,
And
that was like, boom, right away.
I'm probably going to pay for that one.
I won't ask how much older.
Not by much. Maybe not very much.
She all in trouble.
I always am in trouble, sister.
All right. Well,
thank you so much
Thanks
for
for
having
coming
us.
in.
Yes.
Off the record, I'd like to wish my husband, I know, Ernest Almanza, I'd like to wish him a happy birthday today.
It's his special day.
Okay,
Yes.
and we won't ask how old he is.
No.
He's a youngster.
Yes, he is a youngster.
All right. Well, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Maria,
Thank you.
Melanie, thank you. And break a leg or whatever they tell you to do. Have
absolutely.
great performances.
Thank you very much.
All
Thank you.
right. We're going to open up the Zoom room, get Aaron in here, see if he can top that. I don't think so. And that's coming up next.
It's the Big Meat Savings Sale at Finn's Country Market in Artesia. Quarter loin pork chop, just $1.49 a pound. Choice boneless beef arm roast, family pack, $3.99 a pound. Choice boneless beef arm steaks, family pack, $4.29 a pound. And farmland breakfast sausage, links or rolls, 2 for $5 at Finn's Country Market in Artesia. And right now, Coca-Cola, all flavors, 2-liter bottle, 4 for $5 at Finn's Country Market in Artesia.
Supply chain issues are affecting all kinds of things around us. Believe it or not, Love Bud Floral is having supply chain issues receiving the vases for floral arrangements. So here's the proposal. If you happen to have some floral vases in a closet somewhere that you wouldn't mind parting with, please bring them to Love Bud Floral, and Rita will consider purchasing them from you. So look in your cupboards and closets and bring your old vases to Love Bud Floral and Gifts in Artesia. Love Bud Floral, 1010 West Main in Artesia, or call 575-746-1010. And thanks.
Holy guacamole! The best guacamole in the Pecos Valley is at La Fonda Restaurant in Artesia. Holy guacamole! Everything is coming in fresh by the truckload. Avocados, green chilies, jalapenos, tomatoes, and onions. The makings of our signature salsa, golden fried chili rellenos, and of course our guacamole. Holy guacamole, what are you waiting for? La Fonda Restaurant, 210 West Main in Artesia, with plenty of parking off Highway 285. Holy guacamole!
Guy Chevrolet Company in Artesia is your one-stop for all your automotive needs. From GM certified service and parts, body and paint repairs, to a great lineup of new Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC models, along with our hand-picked selection of new-to-you cars, trucks, and SUVs, we've got you covered. We invite you to come see us today for excellent customer service and the hassle-free buying experience you deserve. You'll find us right here on the corner of 1st and Main in Artesia, where we've sat proudly for almost 97 years, or at GuyChevy.com.
So, you remember yesterday you'd mentioned that, I love that graphic. All right, folks, you got to see that.
It's already moved on.
You got a new sponsor for Joe Biden. Depends. Oscar the Grouch looking at Joe. To have a State of the Union or not to have a State of the Union? What was the question again? And then there's Joe tripping up the stairs of Air Force One. Let's go, Brandon. Oh, and then Joe didn't know that,
Ukraine?
Ukraine versus. Was it that bad? I didn't watch it, but from some of the discussion that I've heard on the conservative talk radio, it sounds like it was a pretty bad speech, that he didn't really come across as.
Looking at the mainstream media, you would think it was a great speech, but this was funny when Pelosi was cheering about burn pits.
I know. The only thing I could think of when I saw that was that she must have stock in the company that cleans those up, or has something to do with those. And then there were the two Republican ladies who were, jumping up and down and hollering out and stuff like that. There's the Depends. Tonight's State of the Union address sponsored by Depends.
I love the look on his face there, too.
Oh, my gosh. He can't. It'd be interesting to get the true, what people around the world really think of Biden. Because if you listen to the administration, we're back. Our respect is back. Our administration is back. Everybody's happy with us. But I can't imagine that being true. But
well, it's that they think the weaker that the U.S. is, the stronger that they are. And
Yep.
They can continue to take advantage of us.
That's right. Let's see. What else do we know that's going on out there in the world? The comedy troupe players were pretty funny.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, and Maria was not happy with Melanie when they left. Which one of you is the older one? You are. She is. So Melanie is going to be walking to practice tonight. So that sounds like fun, doesn't it? That play. It sounds like a lot of fun. Ghost hunters in an old hotel. Is Buttermilk a real town in Oklahoma? You're from Oklahoma.
I don't know the town. It's possible it could be a small town out there. But I don't know.
I was watching a video clip this morning, a guy traveling through New Mexico, and where the video started, he was coming through Pie Town.
Oh, okay.
Heading east. And he went through Magdalena, then Socorro, south to San Antonio, and he had headed through San Antonio, and he'd stopped at the hysterical marker there for the Trinity site. And was headed east. But I said to Lana, I said, he goes through San Antonio, and he didn't talk about, stop at the Owl. So he clearly knows nothing about New Mexico.
Yeah, he didn't do his research, huh?
Yeah, that's right, But, oh well. More for us, right?
Right.
Yeah. Oh, and Aaron had a great idea yesterday. We found out the Democrat pre-primary nominating convention will be in Roswell this year.
Yes.
And I think there's a idea brewing to have us do our morning show from the convention.
Yes.
And we could
live in person,
and we could tell these jokes and have our conversations. I could get out my, come on, man, sound effect here, and we could play that.
Come on, man.
Every time we get a Democrat to come over, and we could
come on, man.
The governor might be there. We could interview him. Would that be fun?
Yeah, I think it'd be a blast.
Yeah, I was.
They might not allow it, but.
We might not last very long. We might be asked out after the first half hour, but that's okay.
Right.
And then I was telling Maria and Melanie about our propaganda idea.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, there's the concept art right there, what the building's going to look like. We're going to have the radio station. We're going to have marijuana. And they were looking at me like, is that for real? Yeah, that picture is for real. I don't know if we should or not. Part of me says, if there's money to be made, we ought to, and it's legal. We ought to get in on it. But then there's part of me that says that I'd hate to be responsible for the social issues and problems and parents that have to deal with kids and
all of the negatives that come along with that.
Yeah, I don't want to be a part of that, Yeah. Any more than we already are. So I don't think it'd be a good idea, but I love the concept.
Yeah, it's a fun concept.
Now, New Mexico, I'm all in on that.
Yeah, I would like to be a part of that. So.
One of the Roswell mayoral candidates, that was one of his campaign slogans.
Oh, really?
Was, we need to separate from New Mexico and go to Texas.
Yeah.
And he got 500 votes.
Oh. Could have tried harder.
He lost. And that's okay. I remember when I lived in Mississippi, there was our car tags in Mississippi, your license plates were super expensive. I mean, we're talking hundreds and hundreds of dollars to renew and get your car tag. And I won't go into why they did that, but there was a theory behind why they...
You're rich enough to have a car in Mississippi, you can pay the tax.
Well, not exactly.
Okay.
Not exactly. How do I say this? Some people felt it was the only way to extract state tax revenue from certain aspects of the population. Because they didn't own property, so they didn't pay property taxes. They didn't buy things, so they didn't pay sales taxes. But they all had cars. So, the poor folks of Mississippi. So there was one guy, he was running for governor, and his campaign slogan was $5 car tags.
Did he win?
No. But there was a big interstate exchange. If you drove in and around Jackson, Mississippi, at some point you were kind of like the Big I in Albuquerque.
Okay.
And he bought a tractor trailer and had painted on the side $5 car tags. So-and-so for Gov, and had that parked on that exchange, so you couldn't miss it. If you were going through there, you couldn't miss it. So that was his campaign slogan, elect me, $5 car tags. All I could think of was kids in high school running for class president, free beer, vote for me.
Right.
So, did it work? No. And when the guy that I was watching this morning went through Magdalena, Lon and I drove through there years ago, back when Barack Hussein Obama was president.
Okay.
And there was a cafe there, and ginormous signs on the cafe and on the highway as you were passing by, so you couldn't miss it from either direction. Obama, worst president ever.
Now they're going to have an extra sign with a line across Obama and Biden.
Yes. I need to see if I couldn't tell in the video clip because he was shooting it from the cab of his camper van. But yeah, I need to go back and see if
it's been updated.
Yeah, because I thought, I could live in this town. If I wanted to retire and move someplace in New Mexico where nobody would find you, Magdalena, New Mexico would probably be one. That'd be one of those places. Mountain Air is another one. I love Mountain Air, and that little area there. We walked into a restaurant there to get something to eat here a couple of years ago in Mountain Air. And it was one of those places where as soon as we walked in the door, everybody stopped what they were doing and turned to look to see who it was coming in the door. It's just me.
Like, who are you?
Exactly. You ever have that happen to you?
Oh, yeah.
Who's that guy? He ain't from around here. How can you tell? He's got one of them there Apple Watches.
Right, we don't have those here.
I'll have to tell you my radio football broadcast story from Mountain Air one of these days. I may have told it before, but I'll have to share it with you one of these days. What else is going on?
Well, I learned a story about this upcoming convention in Roswell.
Yeah.
Yeah. So MLG's fiance, Manny, he rented a tuxedo to attend the convention. Well, the tuxedo ended up coming with an untied bow tie, and he didn't know how to tie it.
Okay.
So he was in the hotel room by himself, and just taking a chance, he knocked on the door of the next room. There was a guy there. Manny said, "Excuse me, but could you help me tie my tie?" The man said, "Sure, just lie down on the bed." Manny wasn't sure what he was getting into, but he wanted to have the tie. He wanted to have the tie tied, so MLG wouldn't yell at him, so he went ahead and laid down on the bed as he was told. The guy tied a perfect bow tie knot.
Wow.
Yeah, quite reasonably. Manny asked, "Thank you, but why did I have to lie down on the bed?"
I think
the guy said, "I'm an undertaker. That's really the only way I know how to do it."
I was going to say, did he work at Turpening and Son?
And I also found out one of, when the president does the State of the Union address, the speech writers write the speech, but sometimes they let the president, make some little quotes in there. And
yeah,
I found there was one of them that the speech writers cut out that Biden really wanted in there.
Yeah.
It was, "Folks, I'm pleased to announce this year's State of the Union is Wisconsin."
He wanted to recognize Wisconsin.
Yeah, he wanted to recognize the State of the Union
as this year's State of the Union.
They wouldn't let him. So.
Yeah, well, I don't know. He might have been better off. He probably would have gotten a good round of applause, especially from the delegation from Wisconsin.
Yeah, maybe so.
Well, good. Well, Michael is standing by for his report, so shall
I better get to work then.
See how the markets are going. Here's Aaron to bring us up to date.
All right, this is Aaron Irving of LPL Financial, member of FINRA and the SIPC, bringing you your mid-morning stock market report for Thursday, March the 3rd. U.S. stocks were modestly lower today as rapid moves in the energy and bond markets slowed and investors monitor the war in Ukraine. The Dow Jones Industrial Average dipped 0.2%, while the S&P 500 shed 0.4%, and the NASDAQ Composite was down 1%. Software was a weak spot in morning trading, with Okta and Snowflake tumbling after their quarterly reports. Tesla also dropped 2.6%, while Amazon lost more than 1%. Some more defensive names supported the Dow, with healthcare stocks like Amgen outperforming. Transport stocks were also a strength, with Union Pacific rising more than 3%. Energy prices moved higher overnight, but eased this morning, with futures for U.S. benchmark West Texas Intermediate crude trading near $111 per barrel. The yield on the benchmark U.S. 10-year Treasury note nudged higher today to about 1.87% after having its biggest one-day jump since 2020 yesterday. These moves come after a volatile start to the week, with markets seeing sharp reversals in some areas day to day. Stocks in the tech sector in particular have been in a downtrend in recent months. On the earnings front today, shares of Best Buy rose more than 4% after the retailer met earnings expectations and hiked its dividend. Kroger climbed 7.7% after beating estimates on the top and bottom lines. However, BJ's Wholesale and Burlington stores were down sharply in early trading after their earnings reports. On the economic front, jobless claims for last week came in at 215,000, which was lower than the 225,000 expected by economists, according to Dow Jones. Currently, the Dow Jones Industrial Average is down 162 points at 33,728. The S&P 500 is down 18 points at 4,367. And the NASDAQ Composite is 136 points lower at 13,615. West Texas Intermediate crude is down 71 cents a barrel at $109.89. Stocks of local interest. Holly Frontier Corporation is down $1.17 per share to $29.68. Walmart is $3.37 higher at $139.53 a share. Duke Energy is up $1.79 per share to $102.58. And EOG Resources is 58 cents higher at $117.32 a share. This is Aaron Irving with Oakley and Irving Wealth Management, serving business owners and energy industry professionals in the Pecos Valley and beyond. You can find us at oiwealth.com or at our offices in Artesia and Carlsbad. You can call us at 575-887-7075. All indices are unmanaged and may not be invested into directly. Securities are offered through LPL Financial, member of FINRA, and the SIPC.
All right, Aaron, thank you very much. And you have a wonderful day today.
All right, you do the same.
We'll try to get your closing report on right before the baseball coverage, which is supposed to start around 4:30 this afternoon. So.
Oh, okay. All right.
We'll get you worked in.
Very good. Have a good one.
You too. Aaron Irving with Oakley and Irving Wealth Management, LPL Financial Services. We do have baseball, Bulldog baseball this afternoon, their season opener, and they're participating in the Black Gold Slugfest, and they'll take on Pewaukee Valley this afternoon. First pitch is scheduled for 4:30. It's the first game of the afternoon session, so they should be on time with it. And we'll start with our pregame around 4:15, 4:20 or so, and first pitch at 4:30. Hey, let's do our Thursday visit here with Michael Redman from the Artesia Historical Museum and Arts Center. Good morning, Michael.
Good morning.
And the last few weeks, we've been talking about ghost towns and things across New Mexico, but today we're going to change it up a little bit. There's a lot of news from all around the world, especially in Ukraine with the Russian invasion and everything going on. And it's not the first time world events have influenced activities and events here locally and in New Mexico. And you want to kind of look back similarities. Are there some similarities to what we're seeing happening in the news today with what has happened in the past?
Yes, there are, in fact. I know we've all been paying attention to what's going on over in Ukraine, and some of the things that we've been hearing are just fascinating. Of course, war is always horrifying, but some of it's fascinating, strange, unusual, and almost fantastic. Like hearing about the soldiers running out of food, not having enough ammunition. They're abandoning vehicles, even having vehicles stolen in the middle of the night. There's that video of a tank being hauled away by a farmer in a tractor, and the latest is that their tires, their vehicles have been sitting in storage for so long that the tires are breaking and bursting when they go in the mud.
Wow!
And this is all just so. It seems so unusual, so fantastic, so odd. And yet, 160 years ago today, same thing was happening in New Mexico.
Huh. So this would have been World War I, right?
160 years ago? No.
Oh, no. 160 years ago would have been the, say that again?
The Civil War.
The Civil War, yeah.
Yes. And in fact, looking at, there's a very useful source of information on the war in New Mexico. The journals of Albert Peticolas. He was a lawyer who joined one of the Texas regiments and was a participant in all the battles in the area, in the states. And he noted on March 3rd, 1862, exactly 160 years ago, that they were limited to eating just beans. That's all they were able to find, and they were only able to get beans from a store that was owned by a New Mexico volunteer officer. They looted his store, stole food, and his particular company had to eat beans for a few days because they didn't have enough food.
Wow, that was it, huh?
Yeah, it's just like what's going on for Russia right now. They didn't bring enough food. Sibley, the commander of the Confederates, the Texans who invaded New Mexico, he didn't bring enough food. They thought that they could just live off the land. They could loot all the U.S. Army supply depots, and they just thought it'd be an easy, quick march through the territory. So they didn't bring enough food.
Not good planning, huh?
Yep. Same thing happened in 1841, the Santa Fe expedition, when Texans left San Antonio, marched through Texas, through Kiowa and Comanche territory to New Mexico, hoping to get to Santa Fe. They did not bring enough food either. They did not think the path was as long as it was.
They didn't check their GPS.
By the time they got to New Mexico towns, they were so hungry that the first place they found was a sheep ranch, and they went nuts eating sheep.
I don't think the sheep farmer was probably well compensated for that, I'm guessing.
I sincerely doubt it.
Yeah. Did some of these troops or armies, when they got to where they were going, did they anticipate being able to either confiscate or get help from the local population?
That's what they assumed. They assumed that they would find friendly people wherever they went, that they were... The Santa Fe expedition had hoped that the people of New Mexico were ready to leave Mexico because there were some revolutionary feelings, but they were not pro-Texas feelings. They were more concerned about the state of the Mexican government in the 1840s and 1830s. But I think that could be a subject for another radio program because there's a lot to that too.
Sure. But there wasn't a lot of, if we wanted to be if we wanted to be Texans, we'd live in Texas.
Well, sort of.
But they don't live in Texas. They were so that they didn't. They anticipated they would get that kind of support, but they didn't receive it.
Precisely. And the same thing happened in 1861. They thought that there were enough locals who were friendly to Texas and the ideas of leaving the United States that they could just find what they need, buy what they need. And one of the famous units of the Texas Army was in fact a group of people from Santa Fe, the Santa Fe Brigands, who were mostly shop owners and hotel owners and gamblers from Santa Fe.
Mm-hmm.
But another failing that they had was they didn't bring enough ammunition, just like the Russians, of course, are running out of ammunition. But they are also running into the situation where their equipment was stolen in the middle of the night by locals, the Russians and the Texans.
That's how much they were unliked, the Texans.
Precisely. Unliked, but also they did not post adequate guards at night.
Mm-hmm.
So the that was seen in 1843, the Warfield expedition. They came into New Mexico. They found a group of Mexican soldiers from the Santa Fe Presidio. They were out patrolling by Mora. They ambushed the camp. They captured horses. They drove away the soldiers. And in the middle of the night, the Texans were sleeping, and the locals came out and just stole back the horses. And then stole the Texas horses, too. Stole them all.
So they were stuck for a little while.
Oh, they weren't stuck. They had to walk back.
Right. Well, right. They didn't
hundreds of miles.
Do that. Did this lead to desertion? Did this lead to people, soldiers just leaving, or were they allowed? I'm assuming if they left and were caught, that was probably not a good thing for them. But these kind of conditions couldn't have been good for the troops.
Oh, it was very bad for the troops, but there were very few desertions just because they were so far from home.
Okay.
That was constantly brought up by Alfred Petticolas. The Texans, they knew that they were 1,000 miles away, so it was stay with the Army, even though they were quite unhappy with the officers, because the alternative was being stuck in a prisoner camp.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sure those weren't very nice either.
They weren't on the East Coast, but interestingly enough, out here, the U.S. Army was more inclined to just parole the soldiers. Tell them they could leave as long as they never take up arms again.
Okay. Well, that probably wasn't a bad idea. Obviously, we don't know what's going to happen in Ukraine, but in New Mexico, in this past history that you're talking about, the Texans never were successful with their excursions into New Mexico, were they?
No, they were quite unsuccessful, and in fact, that there was a parallel between the Russians and their tires just bursting because they were, unused for so long, and the Texans struggling to go back on their retreat. They decided to try a different path.
Mm-hmm.
They marched north along the Rio Grande in 1862. They marched back, skirting through the mountains to the west of the river by Magdalena, and where that very large array is located. They tried to go through the mountains where there were few roads, so it was a constant struggle to try to get cannons and wagons through that area.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a failure on their part to make sure their equipment was adequate for the roads.
It wasn't, and so I'm sure the wheels were breaking down and the axles were having problems, and I wonder how much they had to wind up just abandoning on the route.
They did abandon some pieces, but they were insistent on bringing home with them the cannons they captured at Val Verde, which meant they had to physically haul the pieces up and down hills by rope. And we're talking a few thousand pounds of cannon.
Yeah.
By soldiers who, at that time, they were limited to dried beef and bread that they were baking out of flour and cornmeal without any sort of yeast or anything like that. So it was just not very nutritious.
Right. Gosh, it sounds so tough. Compared to more modern times, although the Russians have been talking about rebuilding their military for a long time, and you've been citing a number of examples where they're probably still not there yet with the rebuilding of their military. I can't imagine having to haul cannons up and down hills like that. I mean, right now we drive through that area. There's highways there and places to stop, and Pie Town and all that. But back then, none of that existed. There were probably just little villages and places like that along the route.
Oh, very few villages, because that was Apache territory, and they were quite unhappy about any sort of outsiders coming into their land.
Including the Texans.
Very few towns.
Yeah. The Apaches probably didn't care for the Texans either, or anyone for that matter.
No, but there were a few thousand Texans, so they just watched them.
probably laughed at them for what they were trying to do.
Oh, especially because they were moving a lot of horses and mules through territory that had very terrible grass and almost no water.
Right.
Texans, like the Russians, were running out of fuel. And they lost a lot of horses and mules on that return trip just from not finding enough water. And those animals, unfortunately, just starved to death and were dehydrated to death.
How far south did they go before they turned back to the east?
They went down to El Paso, modern-day El Paso. Back then, El Paso was on the other side of the river, and on the U.S. side of the river was a little village called Franklin.
Okay.
So they went down to there, and then they mostly followed the river, and then they started to move away from the river towards Fort Davis.
Okay. And the railroad was not there at the time, was it? Or was there any kind of railroads in this area?
No, there were no railroads, but there were stagecoach stops.
Okay.
So for the most part, what they did on the return trip, once they got to El Paso, once they got to Franklin,
mm-hmm.
Some of them did travel across the river and had a tough time trying to buy things using Confederate money, but some of them managed to do so, and they enjoyed real food for the first time in months. But they split up and moved in smaller groups across Texas to get back to San Antonio. The idea being that having like 400 people at a time moving across, wait a day, send another 400, they would put less strain on the few water sources that were out there.
Right. Yeah.
So they split up and took a very long time, but they managed to get back to their homes. And the author of that journal, Alfred Peticolis, in fact, was furloughed for a few months after the campaign just to recover from the lack of food and all the strenuous activities.
And what turned out to be an unsuccessful mission at that. So had to be a pretty down time for that army. So now, was that the last excursion into New Mexico, or that wasn't the first one, was it?
It was not the first one, but it was the last one.
Okay. So kind of ended after that. Well, we have about a minute left here. Update us on your exhibits that you have there at the museum.
Well, right now is the annual quilts show. The quilts are still on display until the last Saturday of the month.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there will be the students' art show. And then after that, that will be in April.
Okay.
The exact dates have not been set yet. Those will be set next week. And then, starting in May, we will have a history exhibit in the Art Center.
Oh, very good. So the quilts are there now, and then the student art exhibit, and then one that you just kind of teased us with. It's coming. You said in May or June?
Yes, in May.
In May. Excellent. And the hours at the library. The hours at the museum?
We are open 10 to 1, 2 to 4, Tuesday through Saturday.
Excellent. Michael, as always, very informative and interesting information. I have to go back to Magdalena again and look around. And, of course, the very large array is a very interesting place to visit, too, if you have time to stop there and look around that facility. But then think about the history of the Texans invading New Mexico.